All right. All right, hello. I'm waiting for the first message in chat, whoever that may be. I'm waiting for the first message. Shh. It's okay, guys. Just tell me when you're here. Are you ready? We're waiting for it. It's going to be really sad and really embarrassing if there's no messages ever. Nobody comes to watch anymore. I'm going to drink my water. Look, we're going to pretend that this isn't the stream until I'm... There we go. Someone's watching. Exas, here we go. Here we go. Oh. Merciless. What do you think of the whisperer of the merciless being whispered at the end there? Just added that right there. Just felt like it would work. Just felt like it'd be a good idea. There you go. That's the intro to the stream. Boom. We're here to play Merciless today on our Elementalist. Should be pretty cool. Hello, Ludus. Hello, Victory. Hello, Dosty. Hello, it's Kelga73. Hey, Bacon's all mine with the really goddamn quick sub there. Dark Sigma, the Rhubarb. Atomic Dandelion. It's a Dandelion. Demon's Bane. Hello, everyone. And a sub from Dark Sigma there as well. 2 months in a row. Was the whisper part of it, or did you add it now in the microphone? No, I literally just said that right. I just added that here in the mic. That's not a part of the video. I whispered that live. I said, merciless. Or however I said it, without being coughing. Necro, Ellie is dead. Yeah, the Ellie died, like, moments into the run. The Ellie died very, very, very early, and it's all a little bit sad, and yeah, a bit depressing, really. I thought you are no Necro. What? We didn't die on the Necro, did we? We didn't die on the Necro. We're in the middle of Norn stuff, so we'll be doing that. Ellie is always in our hearts. Listen, Ellie may be a thing we go to, like, after we've beaten it on several other characters. If people are still enjoying Merciless and want to watch more, we'll do it at that point. Yeah, Balti is dead. It was killed by... anti-spoiler NPCs? What do you mean anti-spoiler NPCs? It was killed by a very early member of the Nightmare Court. Lady Amalthea as well. What's all these subs coming from? I do not deserve these. I watched Jebro stream for hours and hours and hours, and like he'll maybe get one person, and I'm literally, and I use that word not in any with its actual meaning. I'm literally scratching my balls here, or at the start of that conversation that sentence I was. And I've already had 4. It's Kelga73. Thanks so much. Welcome, guys. Seriously, I don't even know why I get what I get. I really don't. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Hopefully we'll have some fun. I just ate some pizza, which is quite nice. And yeah, we'll be running through. What else have I got to say, really? Nothing, to be honest. Slight, I'll do this right here at the start. Slight rectification on my discussion of Weaver, Fresh Air Weaver. One other place that Fresh Air Weaver is stronger than the Skirmishing Mirage build is it kills hollows much more comfortably. And, well, not comfortably, but nothing is comfortable in the Fresh Air Weaver because it's so squishy. But it can kill the Fresh Air, it can kill Hollow Smiths much more reliably and quickly than Mirage can. If there's 2 very good players, it's quite an attritive long fight. And quite often the Hollow will win. And Hollows can catch Mirages out very quickly. Everything can catch a Fresh Air Weaver out, obviously. But the Weaver can blow up a Mirage really fast. Blow up a... A Fresh Air Weaver can blow up a Hollow Smith much quicker than a Mirage can. Mirages can too. It's just, you know. So anyway, that's a little side. But yeah, I've been back to playing this. I actually just got invited to a random tourney. And we got first place, but that's because we were waiting for the first place match and then it just got cancelled. I don't know why. I don't know what happened there. I don't really understand. But yeah, so I'm now up to 190 qualifying points for January from just accepting random invites on the odd occasion. I didn't really make any plays or do anything that good, but I wasn't, you know, I didn't drag us down, so that's good. Also, as far as ranked's concerned, I played 2 ranked games. I won one of them and I lost one of them, which naturally means that because I won one and lost one, I dropped off the leaderboard. So I'm now like, I'm 17 instead of like 9, which is where I was before. So bit lame, but there you have it. The one that I lost, maybe I could have done a bit better. I don't know. I'm still getting subs. What's going on? It's Kelga. Did I already say that earlier? Kabads. You know, we did a giveaway yesterday with sub luck and stuff in an attempt to get people to sub, and people didn't, and now just here randomly people are doing it. Wow. Yeah, this is an extremely potent build. Extremely strong build. You can make so many mistakes and still get out alive. That alone means that it's just too mobile. That's the truth. I actually think I would do some subtle nerfs to it. I would stop the ambush sword being an AoE interrupt. That would have a big effect on its team fighting capability and when it comes to pressuring bodies over down states and interrupting reses and stuff. I would tune that away. There's a few important things I would take away from it, which it does need. It's such a strong build, but yeah. I also think Portal's just way too strong. Just way too strong. It's just there aren't enough players, and it's a bit presumptive for me to suggest I am one of them. There's not enough players that really understand how strong this fucking thing is. This needs like a 30-second longer cooldown at least, because it's just so ridiculous. Lock in someone... Well, we won't go into a whole discussion of Portal, but there you go. Yeah. Mesmer is ridiculous. I don't think his instant casts are actually so much of a problem. There is an issue with tells on this build. I do believe that, and the axe variant as well. But a lot of that comes from Jaunt, actually. And obviously the shatters, but to put tells on the shatters would be such a fundamental change to that aspect of the class. I just don't know. You can kill it, but if you've killed a Mirage, I mean, this is how strong the build is. If the Mirage has died, 99% of the situations, I would say it's because the player of the Mirage has made a big mistake, rather than the opposing team's made a good play. I mean, I really do stand by that. Quite often that's true. If you die, it's because you made a mistake, not because of a good play, but not more so than on this build. Anyway, look, we'll log on to our correct character. Yeah, I really don't want any coffee today. We have the coffee emote, but, you play Full Trap Dragon Hunter. Dude, Full Trap Dragon Hunter is bad. And I'm saying that as someone who gets caught out by it sometimes, but, yeah. Jaunt is a very cool elite. The style of elite it is I don't like. I prefer stuff like Prime Light Beam. The other annoying thing about the Weaver is that it basically doesn't get a good elite. I don't know. Oh, actually, there was another thing I wanted to do on stream. I just finished my Bounty Hunters stuff. So here, I'll quickly show this off. Did I listen to the most recent Tea Time WP? No, I haven't watched Tea Time in ages. I'm a bit bored of it. Not that I think the pod declined in quality or whatever. I'm just a bit bored of the kind of discussions that were going on. Why? What was said? Was it something I'd be interested in? Here, so yeah, I finished The Legend in the Flesh. This is all the Bounty Hunter armor in the game, not just for light armor. All 18 pieces for all 3 armor classes. It gives you a box that gives you Harrier's insignias, and each of these is worth like 20 gold, so it's pretty interesting actually, I think. Or you can get 4 pulsing brand sparks. I don't know why you'd ever pick those. Well, yes, I do. It would be if you had all the other recipes. But yeah, I did that. No PvE. I'm led to believe. I really don't know what this is like to get in the actual the PvE game. Got it all from PvP. All of these. Anyway, so I just finished that. There is another set as well, and that's the War Beast selection, which I might go for too. Funerary we can't get, but I do have all these boxes, which I kind of want to open and salvage with you guys, because I think it'll be fun. So, let's just do that here. Okay, so we got 34 desert crafting material coffers. Oh, and Magic Find affects these, so what I'm also going to do here is I'm going to come up here. And let's go over here. Oh, what's this? I'm playing way too much PvP. I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying it. It's great. Oh, they talked a lot about PvP, did they? They said I'm a scrub on Tea Time. Is that a joke? That's mean if they were shit-talking me on there. I don't know what I did to deserve that. Just because I'm a scrub. Alright. So I'm going to pop this. And I'm going to pop a hero booster, which is going to bump my Magic Find super high. Alright. Then we'll redeposit these. And we're going to open them up, alright? So here we go. 32 of these. Lots of recipes, which I, of course, already knew from my time in PvE. What else did that get us? Just tons of milling stones, lentil stuff, hearty sugar ribs. I don't know, that seems alright. The next box, we've got 17 Crystal Oasis strong boxes. So we'll open all of those at once. What did that get us? Tons of trash items. 50 silver, 2 gold from this. 1 gold 50 from this. Pungent Jacaranda blooms. Red lentils. I guess we had those already. That's probably from the crafting thing. What else did we get? I don't know. By the way, there's unidentified gear as well, right? So if you look down here, I've got 52 rare pieces. 3 Grandmaster marks here, which we don't have to worry about just yet. And there's also another type of unidentified gear. So that's fine. Next box, Highland strong boxes. Tarnished compasses. Dented and burnt, but it does suggest you're in the center of the world, so that's nice. 1 gold. I love these bits of flavor text. This is one of the things I hate that I haven't talked enough about on POF. This is so good. I love the efforts the devs went to for this. And I'm really looking forward to the idea of a Canthan expansion where they do this kind of flavor text thing again. 29 stained tent canvases. Alright, so we've got 17 Riverlands boxes. Well, we get a bunch of rusty pitchforks. We got an awakened rifle. Skimmer fertilizer. Casks of oil. It's good for cooking and preserving food, sealing boats, and apparently for ammunition. 1 gold, 50 silver. Beauty, beauty, beauty. Lots of cool stuff there. There you go. So 71 blues. 12 greens, 52 rares so far. Alright, crafting material coffers. Just a ton of T5 and T6 there. An enormous amount. Desert Hunter caches. A ton of other items. Barbed thorns, beeswax. We got some rares. We just got straight up blues and things there. 14 forged caches. I don't even know what I added there. Presumably a lot of things. 14 Vabian strong boxes. We're getting Vabian red wine, barrels of Jahin white. This wine, brewed with grapes grown in the Hanging Gardens, is often gifted back and forth between great families during marriages and other celebrations. There's a really cool one that talks about the Jinn liking a very particularly sweet or dry red wine, I think it was, which I thought was really cool. Some of the flavor text. So we've got loads of those, 12 of these, get a ton more, 12 of these, 10 of these, and there we go. I think we're done, finally. That's a lot of stuff, though. It's a lot of items. 131 blues. So here's what we'll do now, right? So we deposit. Come up here. Salvage all masterwork and lower. You ready? And that's going to dig into our stuff here. Look at it go. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, baby. So there you go. And then we get a ton more materials again. And then also, finally, we can then sell all these junk items. So our current gold is, I was selling some of my, not the marks, but the things that make the marks, which I had, I was hoarding. I really want the Binding of Ipos, so I'm starting to save my stuff up, because I want the Binding of Ipos for the Fresh Air build, because it's running a lot of focus. I like the idea of playing an Ellie that looks like a full-on edgelordy Necro. I think that'd be really cool. So we're 407 gold, and now we're 426. So we got 19 gold just from junk items there. 19 gold just from opening those boxes. Not counting any of the other stuff we've got on auto-deposited, obviously. 46 dies there. Ton of rares, but I can't be bothered to... I mean, inventory management is only so interesting. We have 100 rares here. 100 rares. So I could just sell all of these for another 32 gold. And do you know what? I think I will. So we literally got well over 50G there. And that's not even from the main feature of those boxes. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, PvP gets you a lot of money. And you should play it. Especially when a league is up and you get all the extra pip rewards. Dusty says, I look like an edgelord in real life. What does that mean? Do I have any forged weapons? They are quite rare and incomplete set. No, I don't think I do. Anything that's remotely intricate with the item systems in POF, I haven't done. And I don't understand very well. Alright, so that's cool. What's wrong with the salvaging, Wilder? What's wrong with the salvage? Let me scroll up and let's see here. Dusty says, I am happy you are. It was a sign of admiration. What was a sign of admiration? They were talking about the state of PvP. Jebro came on and said he wished you could comment off of your perspective, since I think you mostly think... They mostly think PvP isn't a great place. I didn't watch the whole of it. Yeah, the amount of, like... I mean, I really disagree with how Jebro feels about PvP at the moment. I really... his comments, like, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean about the guy or whatever, but there's a lot of, like, just sideways snidey remarks about how nothing's competitive and nothing means anything and all of the balance is trash, and just none of that's true in my opinion. I actually think the balance is all right. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself, and this is certainly a much more engaging meta than I've experienced for a long time. You listen to that debate. Tea Time is kind of a twat. Tea Time the person is kind of a twat. Oh, well, I'm sure nobody will be offended by that, because Tea Time is a show and cannot be a twat. But don't be mean to one another, guys. Come on. And his fans are toxic as fuck. Come on, Ryan Mill. Come on, you're better than that. You're being toxic by being mean to people. I don't want that on my stream. One of the things I'm genuinely really insecure about is people just talking shit about me behind my back when they don't know anything about me and they don't have any context for various things. It really frustrates me. I know I gotta learn to let it go, right? If you put yourself in the public's eye in any way, that's gonna happen, right? So, you know, I'm not crying myself to sleep over it, but it's a real thing that I really don't like. So one thing I would ever abhor having on my own end is any kind of shit talking on my side, because, you know, then I'm just as bad as the things that I'm really, insecure about. How hard is it to make legendary armor? Also, which game mode, PvE, World vs. World, or PvP, is easiest to make the legendary armor? Great question. If you have a community and, you know, a static and you're good at the game and they're all good at the game, I think raiding is definitely the quickest way. With the amount of insights you get per week. But there's kind of an intangible time sink that you have to climb over first, which is, okay, how long does it take to get that good at the raids and to have that static? And that is the part that will trip you up, and most people can't sort of answer for you. So, kind of hard to say. If you want to take legendary armor purely into your own hands and not have to rely on anyone else, and there's a low barrier to entry, both World vs. World and PvP are better. PvP is probably best in my opinion. Most fun by far. Least time gating. Just make sure a season is up and just get complete repeating the Byzantium chest. 100 Ascended Shards of Glory. Just get it again, and then again, and then again, and then again. And, yeah. Alright, let me scroll down. Sorry, I'm well scrolled up. You wish your bank was this organized? My bank's pretty organized, I have to say. It's mostly just full of Ascended gear, like tons of Ascended gear. You're afraid to PvP? Was pretty dominant in FPS, not ready to be a noob in MMO PvP? Man, just turn your chat off. I'll tell you what, I feel so bad though, right? Between the two streams, I played a PvP game. If these guys ever hear about me saying this, if you're watching, I don't know, right? But there were two warriors. It was an unranked game. There were two warriors. They were clearly friends. They queued in together. One of them was called Small Banana, and the other one was called Big Banana, yeah? And they were two warriors that queued in together, and they were utter beginners. Like, I would struggle to articulate just the depths of how bad they were. They were truly atrocious. They were some of the worst players I have ever seen in PvP. They were really terrible. And obviously, because there's two of them, their team did not stand a chance. And I felt really gross and sick and unsportsmanlike killing them. But I was so happy to see they were in there, and I hope they didn't keep getting dunked on and having these bad experiences, because even if they were bad, I just thought it was so cool that two people were coming in and queuing like that. And, you know, that's the best way to get in. If you've got one friend, if you convince one person in the whole world to learn it with you and practice with you, and you both get over that hurdle of, you know, being at least moderately good, I think that could be really cool. And it was awesome to see them doing it. So yeah, two warriors. I think they were both on the exact same build, and one was called Big Banana, one was called Small. And that was really sweet. It was cool. The sign of admiration was you saying I'm playing too much. Oh, I see. FOUDRLME says, like, really, WP, why no capes in the game? Because it's not that important. Also, there's a lot of back pieces that approximate capes now, so that's fine. I think one of the official lines is that clipping is sort of a big deal. What you really need to understand about capes with the context of Guild Wars as a franchise is they were a big centerpiece of Guild Wars 1. And so I think it's one of those things where it's like the devs want to do it, but if they do it in the sequel, they want to do it really well. And, you know, like, that might mean new engine, features graphically or whatever to have the fabric actually interact with other skins and stuff, which might just be out the realm of possibility or whatever, so they're just putting it to a side. I think that might explain it, but there are things that approximate capes. Talking about capes, seeing how many capes clip badly with certain things in Breath of the Wild made me think capes in Guild Wars 2 may be bad for their devs. They have a too clippy or requires too much work. Definitely. I mean, to me, I sort of think clipping is an inevitability of the MMO experience, and who gives a damn, right? Like this, I mean, I've never cared about clipping that much, but I don't care about Fashion Wars too much either. I was making fun of pretty princess jokes yesterday, and I'm sure that will continue a little bit here today. Let me turn the settings back up. Beauty. And we'll go to character select and load back in. So yeah, I'm getting weird graphical bugs. Can you see the house here? I'm getting a lot of these at the moment. I don't know what's going on, but it is very, very, very odd. And it keeps happening with various skill effects and things too, or like rivers and various shaders and stuff in the game associated with different effects just break. It's very odd. Damn it, WP, nowadays you fix your coffee before you start your streams. When will we poor planners fix our coffee now that you learn to prepare yourself? Gotta love yourself some bananas. Any tips on my damage? Danger Girl Lurk says, any tips on my damage burst combo with Condi Mirage? Are you asking me that because you played against my Mirage and I've sort of dunked you a few times on it? It depends who I'm against. Which combo, if you want to call it that, you go with really depends on your opponent. Like, I always jump a Scourge and global a Scourge every single time. Every opening mid-fight at the start, I just kill a Scourge before they get Life Force. It makes it you much more likely to win that initial engagement, which might snowball the whole game. So it's just very, very, very easy to do on a Mirage. And for that, I just chain my interrupts. So I always blink in with the Prestige to get the initial packet of damage and loads of burning so that they're already smarting. Then when they try to flip it back to you, you do like a Mind Rack very quickly. Or, yeah, a Mind Rack to blind them so that their Plague Signet is not a threat. And then they'll just panic, do that. If they try to, and then you just chain interrupt. So you interrupt their consume conditions, you interrupt their Mark 4 if they try to drop that, you interrupt anything. They can't use their F abilities because they have no Life Force yet. So you just roll, you just dodge and use the ambush. Then you divert, then you use another ambush, then you use distort and another ambush, then you use illusionary ambush and another ambush. At this point, they've got like 20 confusion or potentially 30, depending how many erupts you got, and they're dead unless they have a good firebrand. And if they have a good firebrand, then the mid-fight becomes a lot more dicey. But during that entire combo, you're basically evading the entire time, and then you just peel out. So that's how I open on Scourges. Other classes, it's, you know, it's really just about reading their animations and stuff. Against Warriors, I swapped Staff to ripple their boons the second I see a key resistance proc's gone up and Berserker's stance isn't still pulsing, stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, it all depends who I'm fighting. Woof, that's going to be me once on PvP. But yeah, you know, if you're genuinely a beginner, people can tell, and I would like to think people are nice about it. I'll keep avoiding PvP. WP might talk crap about me. No, I really admire those two people, and I wish there were more people like that. I really do admire them. I think it's so cool that they went in there, and I just hope. I was so scared. Yeah, I won't say. Well, at one point, I basically let them kill me because I really wanted them to have a nice experience. Because I really just don't. Like I said, I felt unsportsmanlike. Just sort of dunking them. I really want people to play a bit more. Anyway, clipping's the biggest non-traversy ever. Every game clips is literally the nature of video games. Dude, I think I agree with you, man. Fix your client. Yeah, I don't know how. I thought people were getting a kick out of it. I really don't know how. Maybe I'd have to restart it. I'll tell you what. I could restart the client, go get coffee, and you could watch the merciless intro, and then we can kick things off, yeah? Maybe we'll do that. First day of your semester, class got let out early, so you get to watch WP while you wait for your next class. Dude, that's very cool. It's great to see. Deactivate additional stuff like no fog. Yeah, it could be that. For fabric physics, you hold every game to Dark Souls standards. They have amazing physics on fabrics. One thing apparently FF14 has very well is a feature like that. What's wrong with the house? The Norn just decided to repaint their house. Purple's a nice color. There you go. Maybe we like it. Our Soul says, I just recently beat... Sorry to everyone who's looking for some sweet gameplay. I'm just going through chat here. I just recently beat the Merciless Challenge from Our Souls. Really, the newest, latest... this iteration. You beat it with an Ellie. using staff and glyphs and conjure flame axe with the double elemental summons and staff. Ellie can trivialize very large fights like Claw Island. I would rate the difficulty below Ranger for being harder underwater. I don't recommend using dagger at all. Wow, that's very cool, dude. You've just sort of blown my opinions away then. If you've really beaten it and you think... Wait. When you say below... I mean, I think Ranger is the easiest thing in the game right now. Are you saying that Ellie is the easiest? When I've been sitting here saying it's the hardest the whole time? I mean, double summons I think is a great idea. Conjure Flame Axe. Tell me more about that. Can you kite away throwing axes behind you? I know you come with the 2, but what about the autos? You can't do that, right? It's a very pretty glitch. I am running Well, I'm running Guild Wars 2 Hook. I never saw you PvP on stream. Do you ever stream your gameplay? I do have some. But listen, whenever I stream PvP, I play really bad and I get a bit miserable. There's a collection of me learning Thief like a year and a half ago, learning DP Thief. There's a couple of streams of that. Recently, there were a few Hollowsmith streams. I've never streamed on Mesmer. What I queue on, I've never streamed on Mesmer. I've never shown people me playing Mesmer. I played a single Weaver game yesterday where I got carried as well. So, I don't know. It just seems to all go terribly when I stream because I try and talk and it really affects my gameplay. I mean, it really does. So yeah. I wouldn't recommend watching me PvP. I don't think I'm very good to watch. Well, I think I am good to watch in that I explain what's going on, but the gameplay quality goes down a lot. So you're not really seeing actually very good play, but you're seeing good explanations of plays that are being made. No, I think DP Thief does have a pretty high learning curve. You need to understand how Conquest works, and you really need to understand what a good opportunity is to play DP well. It takes a while to get into that groove. Yeah, I like Flame Axe too. That does sound very cool. I wish he would explain a bit more. Player races like Char and Asura why you won't get capes in Guild Wars 2 unless the devs dedicate some serious time to re-rigging the model for armor anchor parts. Yeah, you know, I thought that when Heart of Thorns came out and legendary backs were going to be a thing, I thought that the whole idea for legendary... My original thinking, right? Because just to rewind, back then we had a set of legendary weapons and we never had anything else. There was no legendary armor. There were no legendary trinkets. It was just weapons. And we had a set of, you know, well over 10. So, in the earliest days where we heard that legendary back pieces were coming with Heart of Thorns, my initial thought was that there was going to be a set of, you know, 6 to 10 legendary back pieces, and they'd all be different varieties of capes. See, the thing with Guild Wars 1 capes, right, was everyone had them because being in a guild meant you had a cape. You could choose to hide it, obviously, but it was kind of a standard thing, so everyone had a cape. And you know how Guild Wars 2 slowly over time, it feels like everyone has a legendary now? I felt like it would be similar for the back pieces, and it would feel like this kind of special thing. And it was, in a way, it would imitate what happened with Guild Wars 1, and I really liked that idea. But in the end, well, we saw how constrained they were even to getting the first legendary back piece out. Then finally the Ascension came out, then finally Warbringer right at the end of the Heart of Thorns days. And now they're looking at adding goddamn accessories and stuff, so I don't know. I don't know whether we'll ever really get that. Basically, I'm giving it a good explanation to bad plays. I think I was giving good explanations for mediocre plays. And my execution of those plays was even more mediocre than the plans. Are mounts allowed? Yeah, they are. Dude, just read the rules. It's on... Just type exclamation mark rules and boom, you get it. Hey, WP, sorry if you already know, but your link to buy Path of Fire doesn't work anymore. I wanted to buy it for my friend. Really? What do you mean it doesn't work anymore? Really? Oh, that sucks. I should probably look at that because I don't want to be a poor bastard all my life. Is that really? So what happens? What's the error? Can you whisper me some details on that? Kikian27? Flame Axe has the Burning Retreat, so you can disengage very far. It also has the Leap Blast finishes for auras and heals. The auras? Really? You rate the auras? The double auto can proc Pyromancer's Puissance for easy 25 might. That's badass, dude. That is very cool. I like that. Good point with the 3. And you get 2 dodges, really, because you get the one on the Flame Axe and you get the one on the Staff. And then you've created these immense gaps that Staff can take advantage of with its 1200 range. I think that's really cool, dude. I hadn't thought of that. Dark Sigma, what do you think about legendary weapons that can change animations for that weapon? I sort of think that that's already a thing in the game, man. And case in point, if I go to my fresh air Ellie, you're not gonna like this, because people rarely do like this, and I don't really like it that much, to be honest. But once we load in, don't know why this loading screen's taking ages. But you know, I'm running Meteorologicus skin right now, and what that means is my Earth autos, instead of being shards of Earth, they are. I'm trying to give you a good shot. They're these things, yeah. And it's the same with the 2. Phoenix is actually the same as well. It doesn't look like a Phoenix anymore. It looks like one of those. I don't know. It happens. But if you mean like really bespoke, I think that's a cool idea, but an unrealistic idea with the amount of skills that are in the game, the amount of skills that will continue to be added to the game, various other things like that. I don't think is a good. I don't think it's smart to think of that. When you click the panel, it opens a window and immediately closes. Oh, my buy link, does it really? It just instantly closes the tab that should open. Everything other than the 2 Guild Wars 2 links work. Is this new? Is this just... I can't imagine it's new because people so rarely click those links. They never talk about them. Stromicus Rex says it works. Yeah, I don't know. You like the Warbringer glider, it looks so cool, but World vs. World is literally the only game type I don't really find any enjoyment playing. Yeah, I'm very similar. I mean, I can get some enjoyment, enough to finish Warbringer, certainly, but yeah. Ziet says it works for me. Something to do with Chrome, maybe? They did, and I mean, this was a bit lame, really. When the expansion was announced, Chrome did have some issues with those links, and I think a lot of people lost out on that. Unfortunately. Like, people would click the link and try and support their favorite content creator, but it didn't do anything. Anyway. Alright, so listen, guys. I know the chat is fun, but we are here to see some merciless gameplay. So I'm going to go make my coffee. It's your chance. So let's see the coffee Tatos. Here we go. If anybody subscribed, you get these special emoticons that you can put. If you type Tato drink, there's a coffee cup there. Spam those up. Yeah, I will be back very, very soon. And I'll restart the client as well while we do it. So, what have we got today? Merciless. Alright, I'm back. Minor issue. I do not have a grinder, and I accidentally bought coffee beans. Not coffee ground coffee, whatever. So, I can't drink any, so we'll leave that, I guess. And I'll look at getting a grinder. But yeah, so I'm back. I've got a little bit of smart water, just like yesterday. And a Fanta. So that should be good. Yeah, well done. So no coffee. I know. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Terrible. Leon Football Club? Leon FC 1016 says, oh man, I've been boomeranging Guild Wars 2, but I watch WP just to see if there's anything I want to try. I never thought about checking if he has a Twitch channel. Well, dude, hi. It is actually in the link in the description of every single YouTube video I ever make. But yeah, it's good to see you. Hopefully you'll find something entertaining today. We're going to be playing a bit of Necro until we die, at which point, who knows what will happen next. Single hint 101. Toss some beans in a pot and boil it on a stove. Kind of good, actually. Really? You said grinder and I thought you meant 420. Brilliant. Cannot chat much. Fighting a Lionel. What do you mean fighting a Lionel? Yeah, links didn't work on Chrome, but you changed to Brave browser and it works there. Lol Google. Brave is like... Tell me what Brave is, because I've started hearing about it just very recently. Whole bean is the only way to go, WP. If you can get a Hario grinder for like 30 bucks, it's a hand grinder. An electric one will cost a ton. Well, listen, if I'm going to get a grinder, I'm kind of interested, certainly. But if I'm going to do it, it has to be easy to clean. I'm not introducing a ton of faff and nonsense and bollocks to my life by having to, you know, break apart and dismantle this equipment just to have a cup of coffee. I'm not doing it. So, you know, about a mug and the AeroPress is about as much as I want to have to clean. So yeah. On a serious note, I love that music you had when you were AFK there. It was very Matt Uleman / Diablo 2-esque. It is actually on the Path of Fire soundtrack. It is a POF track. It's pretty cool. I actually discovered a very... You used a name of an artist there. I mean, a musician, but... You made me think. I found a really cool album today. It was linked on a writing... No, it was linked on world building, which I was just browsing and having some read, as, you know, I quite often do. Have you guys ever heard of Simon Stallenhag? He's an artist. Here's his full selection, rehosted to Imgur, so he doesn't get any clicks on his website. So it's a kind of a scummy thing for me to link you. But this is all of his art. It's so amazing and weird and surreal. And the more like you scroll, the more you realize there's like a coherent through line behind all the art. He like juxtaposes like beautiful, natural, very warm images of dinosaurs with very cold, post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, techie images. But they also kind of, they all have like a stroke, like a brush of the mundane, of like real life in them. Like something very relatable, like a father and son carrying shopping bags on a road. But it just so happens to be in like this weird, like odd, fantastical environment. And it really gets you wondering about the setting. And the compositions are so beautiful. And just the more you look through the album, the more like you fall in love with whatever this vision of this world is. And eventually you start to see like the two styles of images start crossing as well. So you start seeing dinosaurs in, you know, looking upon people driving around in SUVs and stuff. It's really, really, really gorgeous. I think the guy's got so much talent. So yeah, and I don't really know anything about them aside from this album here. But it really is quite beautiful. So no, if you guys want to have a look at that, I'm not showing it on stream, and I'm sorry. I should really set up a thing so that I can scroll through the stuff with you. I don't know why I've become an art critic today. I guess that's just another side of the multifaceted experience that is WP, right? Ugh. Yeah, McLean Deemer did it. The POF soundtrack. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it, Waldo? It's really nice. I mean, you've got an eye for design and art yourself, so... But yeah, basically some guy had been inspired by this dude's work, his art, and tried their own hand at it to sort of kickstart a short story they were writing and some other things. All right, anyway. Necromancer. Oh, wait. So just to be clear, this is the Merciless Challenge. If you guys don't know what this is, it's a cheeky little series that we're running. It's a challenge that's available to all players of Guild Wars 2, big and small, new and old. It is the ultimate difficult way to get through the game, so there are several rules we have to adhere to. And the rules are the following. We cannot dodge. We cannot equip any armor ever. So we're super squishy and we can't dodge roll to get away from dangerous situations. We cannot heal. We can't recover our health by pressing that skill 6. We have to use other methods to heal. We get no consumables, so we can't eat food, we can't use whetstones, we can't summon allies and things through foods. No consumables. We can't over-level the story. We can't get any loot from anywhere in the game except what the story gives us. And of that, we can't equip any armor, remember? So you get very little loot to go buy for your accessories, your trinkets, your back piece, all that kind of stuff. You have to do it totally solo, and if you die, the run is over. So it's really, really, really tricky. It's quite the challenge. I've beaten it recently on Ranger. We've had many deaths. We have a graveyard here. Various characters have fallen to the wayside. And when I die, we vote on new classes and builds and things. I kind of am playing with an added difficulty in the Twitch votes on everything I do. So story steps I do, utility skills I take, specializations. Quite often I don't get trolled, but sometimes I do, and sometimes it leads to our downfall. This character has actually already been trolled, and we're not using a very strong thing. So I'm playing a Necromancer at the moment, which I consider to be one of the easier classes to get through this on, but who knows? Perhaps I'm wrong. I forgot to restart the client, by the way, so it might break again, but we'll see. So yeah, we'll turn music up a little bit, but not too loud, not too much. And yeah, I think I'm still on German. I've got to warn you, the graveyard is way too scary. Is it really? Okay, so dialogue. Yeah, I think we're good. I think this is fine. Let's see. And again, thanks for the subs and stuff, guys. Twitch chat trolls never. I mean, half the reason people use this website is to troll people online, isn't it? Kabad says, "Hey WP, hi chat. Hey man, that was 40 minutes ago." But yeah. Okay, so we're in the middle of a story step here. We're gonna go get our car. I mean, I've already got this cool skimmer, but I need my my Barbie mobile for my princess adventures as we go forwards. Yeah, the roof is ruined. Sorry, it's back to white. No, it's still a purple roof. It just got snowed on, guys. It's fine. It just got snowed on, that's all. So, we don't have to worry about that. We might go Santa's wife later. I don't know. It's up to you guys if you want to see that. And get that beautiful sort of lovely, passionate red back on our dress. But for now, we're in our white wedding gown. You're recently leveling your Necro with a power/Vuln build, but it's actually pretty fast and a fun switch from Condi. Yeah, dude, power's great on Necro for open world and story and stuff. It's really, really solid. Very, very fun build. I'd play that every time over Condi builds. Every time. Seriously. Nightbot foreshadowing. What's Nightbot foreshadowing? Anything not Condi is fun? I like Condi builds too, just not so much for open world. Same reason as I don't really like playing Phantasm Mesmer. It's because as soon as the mob dies, all that ramp you've built disappears, and because things die with such frequency, it you know, it's unrewarding for a lot of this stuff. What Guild Wars really needs to do is have a campaign that more reasonably mixes quickly dying mobs with persistent healthy bosses, but it hasn't really accomplished that. So on the Thief, we can basically skip this entire instance. On this one, actually, I don't think we've ever played this instance. We voted for this one and we've never played it, so I don't really know what to expect here. Take cover until she signals the attack. Okay, so this is the ambush, right? This is the Nornway. I love the way they're hiding behind the trees and stuff. This is cool.
Haltet schön den Kopf unten, dann werden Sie völlig überrumpelt sein.
Wait, what? We've already got the car back, or is this someone else's car? Breaking news, the balance team has decided to buff Necro Axe damage by 10%. My taste is improving. People were being mean about my diet.
Jetzt Angriff! Macht sie alle nieder!
This is literally just a wedding outfit with permafrost dye. And a similar skimmer. Alright, so having a warband with us is pretty nice, obviously. It means that I don't have to worry too much. These are dredge. We're not really reliant on blinds now, though. So that helps a lot. Unlike the thief, we've got a lot of sustain to deal with this. Man, do you know what? I'd probably build one of these if I was an eccentric billionaire as well. Can you imagine this? Building one of these? I mean, what? Is the wheel supposed to be broken off? I'm not sure. Thanks, WP, for giving me a distraction from my work. Yeah, hey, dude. Welcome, welcome. What are you supposed to be doing right now? Let's hear it. Let's all judge you. I'll tell your employer and you'll get in trouble. Breaking news. The balance team has decided to nerf Necroaxe damage by 20%. No. That's not right. They've never nerfed Axe. Never. It's just got to be little buffs. Everything permafrost. Absolutely. Actually, we were silver satin. We're silver satin and permafrost combo. Alright? That's what we are. If you ever go as Ellie, do not choose the mission that requires a rescue inside Mount Maelstrom. Worst mission on Ellie, they're immune to burn. So what? It was burned down. Wait, Rain? Was it you that said you did it? It wasn't Rain that said he did that. They don't just kill through burns, do they? They don't just clear the story purely through burning damage. I mean, I can imagine it. Burning is a heavy hitter. But certainly the fire axe doesn't do enough burns on its own, does it? Can I please change back to English, please? Typing please twice with PLZ doesn't really help. Your cause there, I'm afraid. What's so important about playing on English? We'll maybe play an English character the next one, but this one's... Look, the language is determined at birth, alright? I can't change that. That's just the way that the world works. We don't, you know, pop out bilingual babies. We don't even pop out lingual babies. People who want English equals racists. Joke. Anglicists. I like that term, anglicists. What is that saying? That English is the best and only language, essentially. Okay, mining suits. I'm a bit scared right now. I'm going to try and fear them together. Oh, okay. So this cart... The APCs in this instance are just called unknown. I don't know why, but good job there, ArenaNet. I actually really like this instance. It looks like they put some real thought into it. Like, having the char hide behind the trees and then having the actual vehicle spawn like this. I think it's quite nice. You'd prefer English too, and you're native, really now. So I'm trying to break these before the dredge suits, by the way, because I sort of feel like... Oh, what? Come on, if it's obstructed, then hit this one instead. I kind of feel like... And I'm going to bounce some regen on myself here, because remember, we don't really have any great way of healing. If he dies, it might cause another wave to spawn out of all the currently active cars, which I wouldn't like. The warband... Okay, never mind. We're fine, I guess.
Das hätten wir. Was für ein Tritt in den Hintern. Hätte nicht gedacht, dass Schaufler so kämpfen können.
Kräht hier nicht rum, durchsucht das Gebiet nach Überlebenden. Keine Lust auf weitere Überraschungen. Na schön, Bezwingerin. Wir haben ihn zurück. Ihr seid frei. Aber wenn wirklich alles erledigt sein soll, hätte ich noch eine Aufgabe für euch.
Nur heraus damit. Wenn ich es euch mit Zinsen zurückzahlen kann, umso besser.
Wir haben Befehl, die Askalon-Geister zu finden, die bei den Grenlich-Ruinen Karawanen auflauern und sie unsere Munition kosten zu lassen.
Wird mir ein Vergnügen sein. Ich wollte ja immer schon mal diese Kanone abfeuern.
Somebody said that they like me using the term APC, very arousing military acronyms. I'm only just aware. I don't actually know for sure what APC stands for. I'm guessing it's Automated People Carrier, but I don't actually know. I'll tell you what, when I say the word APC, what I think of more than anything, and it is military associated, I guess, sort of. Not really, but the subject material is the same, is Command and Conquer. That's my first understanding of APCs in my life, I guess, because I used to play a lot of CNC. But anyway, yeah, that's what these are, and they're labelled as such in most places. They're unknown here, though, because the personal story is inconsistent and unfinished and unpolished. So there you have it. But yeah. This is also a kind of a weird detail to have on this. Why is there a skull? Do you see this here? Do you remember I said to you guys on a previous stream that I keep like having weird moments playing Guild Wars at the moment where I want to experience it in 3D? Do you remember I went on that whole talk about, you know, how they were supporting it and then they didn't in the end? This is one of those moments, like the depth on this fence. This would look really good in 3D. And seeing like these horns pop in towards us, it would look really nice. This is a nice shot for 3D. But yeah. Anyway, it's weird. I don't know why the devs... I mean, it's nice. Obviously, little details like that are great. And Path of Fire is dripping with them. The environment artist did so well in POF. So many little details like that. But anyway, I don't know. That's probably a boring thing to be talking about, isn't it? Let's just get out. Core Shroud as well. Someone said they don't like it. Yeah, it doesn't feel too good, does it? Nothing about it feels weighty. I think that's what it is. And I think it's sort of it's a bit anachronistic, actually. It's a bit of a relic. It's a bit of an artifact of its time, you know, where a lot more things were designed like that with Guild Wars. That hasn't changed much. You know, they added the skill 5, but what else? Early Shroud, actually. You know the Spectral Walk? That used to be baked into Shroud. And you used to go into Shroud instead of Downstate. Yeah, seriously. But all of that stuff kind of got retooled. So I guess that because we picked this branch, both instances have changed now. So I don't know what this is either. We're just going to go to the Greenwich Ruins, which was the location of the other one. But yeah, I guess this will be a bit different. What axe skin is that? You can't tell, but it looks really cool. Oh, Love Struck. Right, I was going to say, I thought it was just a fool. It's Love Struck. It's one of the Black Lion sets. Released at Valentine's last year, and Valentine's this year. It will probably come back. But yeah, it has a pretty love heart on it, as you can see here, that glows and whatnot. Alright, the machine in action. APC equals a placer for Char. Well, the Dredge used them, not the Char. Going into Shroud instead of Downstate should be a trait. At this point, though, dude, like, the balance is just such a wild idea. Maybe you could go into a deliberately... a Shroud that feels the same as the other Shrouds, but isn't. Like, it's a weaker version. You know how, like, you proc, like, lesser Signet of Stone now and lesser blah, blah, blah. It could be something like that. I'm getting a phone call, so I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. I got really scared there because we got attacked in the middle of that. What was I talking about? Yeah, no, it would have to be like you go into these skills, but these skills are different. And the sustain you get from it's different or whatever. There is a trait that basically does that for what it's worth. There's a trait that throws you into Shrouds, not as your down state, but when you die, instead of dying, you go into Shroud. That does exist. That's death magic. And it's a cool idea, actually. I like the idea for the Grandmaster. It's just not particularly accessible with the way that a lot of the other stuff's structured for Necro, so you haven't seen much play on it in any area of the game very well before. But, you know, that's close, but it's not the full thing. But I do think there is a version. And the way that that would change based on what elite spec you are as well would also be really interesting. Too much work for a single trait, though. I think they have to be careful with the scope of what they're going for with certain traits. So this is the big long fight. On Thief, it was pretty comfortable. This might take a while, but... It's ArenaNet calling for his controversial opinions and getting him banned if he continues. What controversial opinions? I haven't given you a controversial opinion for ages, have I? Let's see, what's a controversial... You guys know my controversial opinions. Account binding stuff. Things of that nature. That ringtone is thick. Yeah, it is a default Samsung ringtone right there. I think. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah, ArenaNet's like, leave Corteria alone, please. Well... Until they completely, like, disable it. Or at the very least stop people having it as their first experience for the game. And instead of just throwing tomes at us. Until one of those things happens, I think any criticism for Corteria is extremely valid. And I get that every patch that adds another way to get a tome comes in is sort of more reason for me to shut up about Corteria. I get it. But they haven't done that for a while. When you say that Scourge and Firebrand are not that bad, but ArenaNet is trying their hardest to make it as OP as they can. No, Scourge and Firebrand are overpowered. They're just not as league-breaking and to blame for current PvP populations and stuff as some people are suggesting. Like, it's just nonsense. I think any kind of PvP issues, population issues, are probably more of a direct result of POF not necessarily fully catering to that scene in any way, outside of the elite specs being added. Oh, we just entered the aqueduct now. Oh, I could have been on this the whole time. Rip. This is crazy. We did not have this many forces before, did we? Why does the alternate version of this not have that set up? Or did it and I've just forgotten? They are strong. Alright, so we come down here. Necro minions are kind of lame. You trade it for a robust life sacrifice, life stealing mechanic. What, on minions? I gotta say, I think that Minionmancy in GW1 was more interesting, definitely. Essentially, it's the jagged horror gameplay. It was just much better. Corpse exploitation, all of that. I think it was better. I think it was more fun. I think Blood of the Master, sacrificing your own health to infuse it into them to keep them alive because they all degenerate. I think it was better. I think Necro needs that in Guild Wars 2 now, actually. I think it really should have a proper look at minions. Because, you know, they're not distinct from other categories of weapon now, either. Of other summon, really. Except that they're infinite duration. While, say, the Ellie ones aren't. I just think there was a lot more, like, build craft and interesting gameplay that came from it. It was overpowered as shit in PvE. But here's there's another really important thing. Most players will never think of this, but it is extremely important. I'm a big believer that when it comes to balance, the builds that people enjoy because of their flavor, I believe, need a place. Like, Minionmancy in Guild Wars 2 really isn't that good, but you see tons of them running around, loads of new players. Pretty much, I mean, I really don't think this is an exaggeration. I reckon 75% of all new Necro players in PvE if they didn't pick the class for it, they've at least tried it or ran it for a substantial period of time. If they've got no friends and things telling them otherwise, they run Minionmancers. It's because it's like a fun thing to do in RPGs. It's what people are looking for when they play Necro. And you see them running around all the time. Invariably, if you see a noob, low-level Necro in Guild Wars 2 running around the open world, they are a Minionmancer. Invariably, they're a Minionmancer. And because people want it, no matter how much strength it has, people want it to be good. So I think that it's important that builds like that do actually have a place. There is a counter argument, which I think is perfectly valid too, which is, well, if people are running it anyway, maybe they can be weak. But I think there's always going to be a bit of a sad moment for those players when they realise, oh no, this is bad, you're not allowed to play it anymore, kind of thing. Or, you know, they're just sort of disincentivized from doing what they came here for. I think that's a dangerous thing to invite. So yeah, I think MMs should have a place, more of one than they have at the moment, just because it's something people want to play. We're actually going to break the break bar just through Condis over time. We're going to dip out in Spinal Shivers to keep the chill on. Cripple with the 3, and the break bar is going to go down. There you go. Stun, and we do more damage now because he's exposed. It's weird. They should use the exposed debuff in some other ways. They should have just like other ways of applying exposed that aren't break bar related. And especially in the early game so that people get used to what it is and what it means. I don't know. That would be pretty cool. All right, we get our signet ring. And there you go. That's the chapter done. That was really, really easy. How am I feeling today? Same as I have for the past 9 to 12 streams. Thanks for asking. I hope you're doing good today. I hope you're alright. Let's see. 120 health. Yes, please, sir. Got another key. Christ, so many keys. I got like 3 waiting in my bank. Yeah, I got so many goddamn like automatic unlockers and stuff now that I've been saving up. It's glorious. Alright, guys, you get to vote now. So if people haven't watched a Merciless stream before, you actually get to choose my next decision in the story. Well, on this build, on this character. Story decisions too. So we get... What is it we get now? A specialization. There we go, level 30. So we get to train a spec. Well, okay. We really want some minions so that our utilities are useful. So what we're going to do, guys, is you're going to decide, if you're here watching this live, you're going to decide if we're going to get skills or a specialization here. That's it. So skills or specialization. You can type it in chat now, and I'll give you a code. It's going to be a number. It's going to be a 2-digit number. And the third person to type to me what they want me to run with that 2-digit number at the same time, you will decide. So is it going to be skills or specialization? So type it in now, get ready. Skills or specializations. And then when I give you the code, enter the code as well and press enter. And the third person gets it. So, skills or specializations. The code is 14. Alright, skills. Everybody's saying skills. Okay. I think it was Vombat that got that. Okay, so skills. So, if we're going skills, what are we going to get? Signets, corruptions, minions, wells. Well, that's it. So, signets, corruptions, minions, or wells. Type it out. Signet, corruption, minion, or well. Whichever one you want. Type it out. And the next code is 19. Third person. It's 19. This bears wants to have a go. Oh my god! Do you want to back up, bro? I'm really scared of this right now because it could aggro more mobs. Like that warthog. Alright. So 19, let's see here. So we've got... Dosty said minions. Scree said corruptions. Ewendal said well. Oh, it said Wells 90. He misheard me. And then Vombat was the third person to get the correct code and said minions. So there you go, Vombat. Good job, dude. You nailed it. So we can get minions. I don't have to go all the way up to the flesh worm. I'm not going to run that. In fact... Yeah, we'll take the Shadow Fiend as well. So we're gonna dig this deep. So beautiful, beautiful. Finally, look, swap all this junk off now. Nice, 3 minions, very good, good stuff. And then later, we'll get our elite and we can go flesh golem. So that's that. Next, a specialization, I guess. Now, we're not going to be able to actually go that deep into the specialization because we've been set back because of the corruption, the useless corruption. So we can only go to our second minor. Not even the second minor. We can't even get that. We're 2 points away from it. That sucks. That's a real shame, let me just say. But, fine. So, what do we want to go for here? Soul Reaping gives us more Shroud and more access to it, and it degenerates slower, so it's generally pretty good. Also, we get Death Perception in the end, which is pretty nice. 50% chance to crit, raw. Doomfire, I suppose, especially early game, would be pretty good. Not that we'll have it in the early game, because it'll be a bit late. Stun Break, Foot in the Grave would actually be really strong. You know, we got some big threatening explosion or stun or something, we just immediately dip into Shroud. We've Stun Break, we can run off. We've got Stab to protect us again. So, I don't know. Soul Reaping is nice. Blood Magic is nice because you get lots of health. And we also allow our minions too to get a lot of health. So like if we run Vampiric Presence, we make all of our minions start stealing life as well. So they all start doing a lot more damage. So Blood Magic is great. Blood Magic is also going to be really good for down state. Blood Magic plus Signet of Agony in the down state will really help us late game. That's one of the strongest lines we can take, and I do want it eventually by the time we finish the challenge. Death Magic will buff these minions, and specifically has a trait... this one here, Necromantic Corruption. Minions just do straight up 25% more damage. Doesn't matter what our gear is, they just do a lot more damage. So this is really nice, and they all get tankier and things as well. Curses has Parasitic Contagion, but I don't know whether that's really going to be that useful. This is sort of like a healing signet for us, very strong. I don't know, though, how much Conde application I really care about. And Spite is just good flat damage. What's really useful about Spite, I wonder? I mean, Dread is a thing. Dread is such a cool trait. God damn, I really like a lot of the balance lately. Dread is such a cool trait. The Terror and Dread thing, look, they're in the same slot. Look at that. Dread for Spite, Terror for Curses. Both fear augments. One for Conde in the Conde line, one for Power in the Power line. It's so good. What an inspired change. So yeah, I don't know. Shroud 1 gives us Might. That's actually really kind of nice. So which line, guys? Which specialization? Are we going to go Spite? Well, I guess we'll straw poll this one. We'll straw poll for the specialization. Somebody suggested that the other stream, and I think that's a good idea. So I'll just quickly type these in. If you have better Twitch TV, you can... what are we looking at? Spite, Curses, Death, Blood, Soul Reaping. Okay. So yeah, if you have better Twitch TV, you can do this without having to leave the website. Just click the link in chat, guys. There's a link in chat. Just click that. Give me your vote. In 60 seconds, whichever one's winning, I will go for. In the meantime, somebody asked me in chat, Hurts You says, when you do Merciless, do you have to unbind, dodge, and heal ski? Yes, I do. And you've just reminded me, actually. I haven't done that here. So if muscle memory had made me do it earlier, I could have failed the run, so thank you for reminding me there. Yeah, I unbind them for the run so that I don't accidentally do it. I do not have monk-like discipline. I do not have that level of concentration. I would use them instinctively. And in fact, when we beat it on Ranger, I did use it instinctively. I just wasn't in combat at the time, so it didn't actually matter. Hey, Inks. Didn't have a lot of time to right now, but wanted to stop by and say hi. It's good to see you, dude. All right. So let's see what people are saying here. Okay, so I will give it another 10 seconds. Blood Magic is currently in the lead, which I'm pretty happy with, but only by a little bit. Soul Reaping is next, Death is after that, and then Spite and Curses are in last place. But there's a good spread of votes, really. It looks like Blood's going to win. Alright, so Blood it is. Okay, so Blood we can go... how deep can we go? Alright, up to Vampiric Presence. That's fine with me. The next minor is a nice one. Last Rites. As long as you are not downed, allies near you do not bleed out if they are downed. Gain healing power based on your current health. It's a cool... not for Merciless, that's not useful. But it's a cool minor. I actually don't know whether that should be a minor, because it feels like such a cool thing that you could slot into, but hey, whatever. Alright, so Vampiric Presence. Heal and partially revive allies in an area when we exit Shroud. This is cool, but without any healing power, it won't be a thing, so that's fine. Cast Lesser Well of Blood when reviving an ally. That's kind of cool, because I can press F on, like, the char near me, and it does drop a heal field for me. With a pretty nice initial self-heal, too. I didn't realize that Lesser Well of Blood had the initial self-heal on it, just like the casted one does. I didn't realize that. That's awesome. Quickening Thirst. Increase our movement speed when we have a dagger equipped. Dagger skills will recharge faster if they get activated while... I don't know why there's that extra, like, clause on that you have to be above a certain health threshold to get the reduction. Or lastly, cast a lesser signet of vampirism on our foe when we inflict bleeding on them. So as long as we can put 4 bleed on a target, we will get healing. So I'm going to run this. I'm going to run Blood Bond. The question is, where do we get that bleed from? It's 4 bleed we need to inflict. This is 3. And I guess the Mark of Blood. So if we go Staff 2 and then Shroud 2, it will automatically then cast a Signet of Vampirism on them, which is kind of nice. Speaking of signets, there's also a heal signet too. Which one is it? Signet of the Locust. Someone in chat was trying to get me to run this. Steal health from nearby foes. Again, without healing power, I don't know how great it's going to be. So I'd rather have the minions. We might swap one of these out for a stun break at some point, though. Might be a good idea. But can you see these the blue text now? This is because of blood magic buffing our stuff up. So it's good. What was our other minors? That we don't get. Vampiric, siphon health whenever we hit a foe, and minions also siphon health, and they transfer it to us. So they're going to siphon health from both of these. Get a double whammy there. All right, good. Good. I think that was all really good, guys. Let's go back to air and start chapter 3. Chapter 3 has defeated every single Norn we have tried so far. Every single Norn has died here in chapter 3. One instance or the other. So let's see whether the Necro's got what it takes to get through. We are one Grandmaster down from where we could be, which means we could have had Transfuse, which is very strong. Entering Shroud transfers quantities, we don't care about that. Wells game, yeah, it would have been Transfuse. Obviously, Last Rites doesn't really mean much. But we'll see whether this helps. Let's see if we can get an actual Norn through, shall we? If I remember correctly, if we go Priory as well, it can be really hard as a Norn. What? Who are you calling a piece of shit? Please don't call people pieces of shit. Please. I don't even know if that's directed at me. If it is, I'm still not that happy, but definitely not other people, please. Do you think ArenaNet will give us something in TP that can change race? No, I don't. I don't think it's important, and I don't think that it's worth the effort to go through, because so much is bound to the story journal. Hello, Air. Air is taller than us. She's my bride. I look like, I was going to say the token ethnic there, but that sounds really bad. I look like the kind of you know, like sort of like what Garm is here, but I'd be on the other flank, you know. Just with the way that she was centered and taller and more prominent between us.
Was ist los? Worum ging?
Alright, settle the dispute between the Order reps. Why are they not here, though? What? We go to the Great Hall, don't we? I'm starting to know where everything is. I'm just going to guess it's the Great Hall, but I'm pretty sure it's here. Can we say piece of excrement? Well, shit isn't the word that upsets me. It's the context of being rude to someone and mean about someone who can't even defend themselves. Staff is poo in PvE. We're using this here because it's good 1200 range stuff. It's got some opportunity to kite away, and it builds life force too. All the marks will when we get the trait anyway. You always read the part of the conversation that makes me look like a dick. That does happen a lot. Maybe you're just a dick a lot. Oh, now I'm the piece of shit. Pick up Civ 6 on Humble Bundle monthly and let me conquer your lands, Dusty. Maybe he's talking about an NPC. NPCs have feelings too, pencil packs. Alright, don't give me that ... question mark. Alright. Yes, it's German. It's very funny. Which one will we go? Will we go with Scholar Prot or Crusader Thurkill? Are we going to go Priory or Vigil? Type it out. Priory or Vigil. The Dredge. Why are the Dredge heading there? Or probably just some kind of defense. Priory or Vigil. The code is 1. Just on its own. 1. Priory or Vigil. Third person. Oh, Dark Sigma has actually linked me to a good cheap grinder on Amazon.co.uk. Thank you very much. All right, Dosty got it. Dosty got it. Third place went Vigil. Count me in. This isn't Vigil for the rest of the run. It's just... God, what an easy... That's not an instance, is it? What was that story step? That story step was literally just listening to NPCs, wasn't it? Wasn't the first part here and then the second part here? Wow, that's got to be the easiest part of the story in the whole game, isn't it? Right, so we're going up here. It would be very cool if they gave us a link in Holbrack up there one day. What is Permadeath challenge? Yeah, if you click that rules link that someone's already given you. Good stuff there. You will see. Join late. Why is WP playing in German audio? Because Germany is an incredible country that offers free university education that is reputable, well-funded, and very much worthwhile. In addition to that, while I'm still currently a member of the EU, I can get into that country very easily, and on top of that, many of the lectures are delivered in English. Sometimes, though, they're not. So I'm learning German to go start a new life in Cologne, or I don't know, some university town, and yeah, I'll be bidding you all adieu, or not adieu. What's German for goodbye? I don't actually know. What is German for a goodbye? I probably do know. I just can't draw it to mind right now. You get the feeling you have a bit of lag, maybe a little bit, Zeth, maybe just a little bit. Tromagar Valley discovered. This looks good with no fog, doesn't it? I love the skybox back there as well. You make my work morning so much better. Keep doing you, sir. I will try to. Thanks very much, True Pixels. Hope you're having a nice work morning, man. It'd be really cool since I live near Cologne and Gamescom happens there every year. Well, yeah, I'm not very interested in... My experience of conventions so far in my life is that they're crowded, slow, mostly just queuing. I think unless you know, you've got something very specific and fun to do at the hotels and, you know, a group of, like, mates to meet up with and sort of make it your own holiday in your own way. I think if you're just there for the convention center and queuing up, it's probably going to be a bit miserable. Damn my spelling of German. I haven't been writing it for a while. I'm ashamed once I saw the others spell it correctly. Mach's gut means goodbye. Does it really? Did I say that correct? Mach's gut? Is that it? Mach's gut is how I would say that correctly as a British man. Is it with a G or a J? Because in Twitch chat I'm seeing it with a J. Oh, what? It's this instance! Oh. Okay, this instance is not easy. This looks so much like Sorry's Furnace. It's unreal. In fact, I bet that inspired the entrance to Sorry's Furnace in GWT. While the art itself may have been inspired by a piece that represented an area inside the dungeon in Guild Wars 1. Oh, God. Okay, so that people don't know, we had a thief who quite miserably died here. But I know what to expect now, so we might be alright. Ground is scorched and blackened. The first pronunciation was the better one. Mach's gut, that one. Mach's gut. I don't know. Okay, here we go. I don't remember what my original one was. Minions up, baby. Get in there. Get in there, lads. Play the game for me. You thought one pet was OP? We're going to have a billion of them now. Alright, I've still got lots of aggro though, so... Christ almighty, the effects volume sounds so loud. Turn that shiz down. Alright. I think we're good. See all these little numbers? This is the blood magic minion combo wombo. Who cares about protection? We're just going to pierce straight through it with lifesteal. Beauty. Love it, love it, love it. Oh yeah. Are you guys ready to face roll your way to Zaitan? And get another character through the challenge? I had to send you here so you can redeem yourself, says Dusty. Yeah, you did send us here. Well, yeah, I know now to be scared after the next wave. But, I mean, we're so much tankier than the Thief was now. And we're actually killing pretty quick, too. Which is great. If we can get to Chapter 5 and get our Death Magic... I think Death Magic would definitely be the next trait line. to get the minion damage going. And then the last one might be like soul reaping for the stun breaks and stuff in ore. Maybe. That's probably the best way to play it on a Necro.
Da! Das muss es sein, was meine Soldaten getötet hat. Das ist... Wartet. Was rumpelt das?
What's that rumbling noise? Okay, here we go. So, wave 1 is easy, and we can handle that. Wave 2 had the mining suit, and we need to be very careful of. So, wave 1 we'll just deal with right here, right now. I'm actually going to save Shroud there, and I'm going to start rebuilding it in anticipation of the dangerous stuff coming up. Okay, the digging machines... I mean, look at how quick it's dying. Alright, Ratniks and the mining suit's up. He's been knocked down. I think Thurkill knocked him down. Alright, we're max Shroud, so no worries about the axe there. Here, we're just going to wait a bit. We are watching for our minions to die, because they can die, and that could be a problem. Here, I'm going to just try and, like, get my piercing to hit as many foes as possible. Beautiful. Lots of targets on the life transfer means that we get to stay in Shroud for a lot longer. Fear away. If you watch, our shade died there. Now, I can pop those. Is it worth ever using Rigor Mortis, I wonder? Against break bars, sure. This kills the minion. This one, Haunt, is blind, chill, and weakness. Pretty nice. Look at that. Look at how easy that was. Look at that. Alright? Seriously. You guys think that the Necro is not an easy mode class compared to the Thief's experience there? Well, we're only just getting started. I'm going to move over to the waypoint before we leave. Alright. So yeah, we're probably going to have some interesting stuff going on in chat here. Otherwise, this might be a bit of a boring run. So if you guys want to talk about anything in particular. Last time I played Thief was just Tiger from Winnie the Pooh. Oh, Tigger. That is spelt with 2 G's. Come on. T-I-double-G-R. Come on, man. Spells Tigger. Hey WP, what do you think about ArenaNet offering more emotes, dance moves, and voices sounds for the Tron back icon and login tools on the TP? When you said login tools, you don't mean log in as in log in with your account and password. You mean logging as in with a G, as in cutting down trees and stuff. You mean harvesting, right? Because you don't just mean trees, you mean mining as well. So that's a typo and just kind of... But if that's what you mean, what do I think about them doing animations on that? I think it's actually one of the stronger parts of the gem store, because I'm a big believer that the gem store should offer skins and effects that are exclusive to the gem store, and in-game rewards should offer skins and effects that are in a territory exclusive to in-game. I don't think they should ever cross. And as far as the gem store is concerned, that's actually true for harvesting things. There is no way to, like, in-game earn a harvesting item with a special animation on it. They only come from the gem store. So that's quite good, because it means that that they're not releasing like really difficult to get harvesting stuff that just feels invalidated because you can throw some gems at it and get an even better one anyway. You know, so I actually think that's quite strong, and I think it's a clever place for them to have identified a cosmetic customization that people can make. The infinite nature of them, I think, is a little bit different, and I don't actually like too much. But yeah, what was your other things? Anyway, look, we'll do a vote here. Whispers or Vigil, guys? Whispers or Vigil. The code is 19, as I said earlier. 19. Whispers or Vigil? Whispers or Vigil? Where do baby potatoes come from? From the ground, man. Oh, I should change the potato, right? Let's change the potato. Beauty. Okay, so the third person was Destructor 420. Who said Whispers? So Whispers it is. Dark fucking Brotherhood. Oh, look, we get a new axe. Nice. Or a dagger. Now, dagger I kind of like. I'm going to play with dagger. And I'll tell you why I like it. Because of the skill 2, which is a heal. So we get Life Siphon. And it is a 600 range. There's also a lot of Shroud that we build on the autos. So I don't know. I'm actually kind of excited to just try dagger out here. So we'll see how that feels. Yeah, and dagger offhand's good for stacking bleeds. That's a good point as well. I need to remember actually that I should engage with the Shroud 2 and thingy. There you go. This is why we got that waypoint. Wouldn't the Scepter give us more bleed? Probably, yes, which could even mean more damage right now, but I don't know. I think that I think running axe or dagger for now is probably a bit better. I don't know. We'll just try and get a range of all the weapons, right? I'm not going to get rid of that axe now. The axe will stay there. We'll just try and get a range. She told me baby potatoes come from my Uncle Mike. Well, maybe he farms them. Huh? Also more vampirism procs. Yeah, right? That's also something from blood magic. So, like, because it's multiple ticks of damage, it means we'll proc this more and we'll proc this more. Both of these. So that's sort of a thing, I guess. Is Scepter Dagger still good? Absolutely, for a Condi thing. The devs don't do balance that completely repurposes an idea very often. So, you know, the identity of Scepter for Necro has always been Condi. And Dagger Offhand has always been Condi. And Condi Manipulation, which in a broad sense is what the class is about. But I would say the class is actually about attrition. Rather than, you know, whether it's power or Condi, it tends to be lots of packets of damage rather than one massive spike, which is where Reaper was supposed to be interesting and break them up. Oh, this is this one. This isn't fun. I actually seem to remember this being a real pain. But that was when we were 4 levels under-leveled, and nowadays it might just be perfectly tuned. So far, the current version of Merciless, every time they put us into one of these, it's been well-balanced and easy-peasy mode, so we might be alright.
Durch die Einheit lassen sich alle Probleme lösen.
Generally, I think the lesson should be never go Whispers, because they always have this kind of stuff going on. As do Priory Quell. Oh my god, that dredge sounded amazing. That German dredge sounded really cool. Hey WP, why do you play on German sounds? Wow, we get that question a lot, don't we? I should start playing on combat mode as well and get loads of people to ask me that. What else could I do that's weird? I should start playing in the mirror. Hopefully Grenberg gets that roll in. Search for dredge weapons. Nope, not this one. Nope, not this one. The first part was right, the devs don't do balance. Alright, so we're overheating, we got to bail out. They're going to see us. Good agents know when they've overstayed their welcome, we need to go now. Escape the dredge mine. Oh, this is actually pretty easy here. First person action camera on Chinese client in the mirror. Yeah, that'll be pretty good. Defeat the dredge mining suits, plural. Are you having a giraffe? Really? Plural? But there's only one. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go Mark II, Shroud 2, and there's our Vampiric Mark. Which we can only proc, like, realistically 4 times because of the ICD on it. Which may seem silly, but remember, when you have groups of players, it's a bit different. Clear away. Like, look at this. So what? The text suggests there's multiple suits, but there's actually only one. Like, I'm so curious about how that came to be. This isn't me trying to be mean or just banging on, beating a dead horse. I'm really interested in how that came to be. How did it come to be that that instance has written as an objective, defeat the mining suits? and yet there's only one. This will have been a pre-release, like, balance pass or something they threw through it. Does that mean that they, once upon a time, had multiple suits, but found it was too hard, it scaled out of control because it was spawning billions of dredge? So then they pulled it back, but they forgot to change the quest dialogue? Because that suggests a whole different world where the personal story was a real challenge at one point, and, you know, I don't know, it's just interesting to me. What is that video playing behind the potato on the camera? Okay. Every single one is something to do with me as wooden potatoes. That video is Uncharted. So that's probably Uncharted 2, it looks like to me. Oh, no. That's not Uncharted. I'm wrong. No. That's not Uncharted. Okay, that... Wow, I can't believe I was using that. So an old friend of mine once showed me... So my main character in this game is called Lys, L-Y-S. There is, I can't even remember what language it is. If you go to YouTube and you type in Lys and then Artar, which is A space T-A, you'll find it's a band and they sing a song called Artar or Lys or whatever, but it's a song and it's like a really cheesy, crappy, it's in a different language. It's not an English song. I can't remember what the language is. It's like a crappy sort of, what's the term? It's just soulless music, pop music that's just made to make a quick buck, right? That has absolutely... It's an industry. It's, you know, it's completely inane, boring shit that anyone could be a snob about. But it's kind of catchy, as all these tunes are, obviously, because they're lowest common denominator, run-of-the-mill, safe music that they can make money from, with, like, a sexy lady prancing around. That's what the song is. It's the same name as my main in Guild Wars, though. So, yeah, when I made the cameras, I must have remembered that. They're all associated with me in some way, and that's probably the weirdest one. So, yeah, that's the music video of Lys Artar. So, yeah. Alright, guys, you get to choose now. Which order will we go? I will accept any order in the game, honestly. I don't mind. We could be Whispers, we could be Priory, we could be Vigil. It doesn't matter to me. We've seen a lot of Vigil lately. We've died a lot on Vigil lately. If you want to see those hard instances on an easy class now and make that comparison, I would suggest you go Vigil. Pretty scary stuff on the others, obviously, but we'll find a way to get through, as we always do. It's up to you. The code is 117. Just like John. So, yeah. Also, by the way, I have some funny mails for you all that I want to read. Whispers, 117. You and all went Whispers. Alright. Whispers it is. Looks like we're going to be doing that drinking mini-game and Tibble and all that stuff. Got all of those, obviously. So, I had some random mails I thought I would read out. I don't know who sent them. I don't know why they sent them. I do know when they sent them because it's listed there. Yeah, I'll just let them speak for themselves. I'll read them out for you. So, one second. Evolution 4 hours ago. I don't know why. Here we are. Hope you're ready. Start off by liquefying 6 pieces of lettuce. It does not matter how you do this. No chunks. When this is done, pour the liquid lettuce into a cupcake mold together with some lettuce yeast, which is made by combining 4 lettuce and the special ingredient contained within this letter. Simply mix those together and you'll have your yeast. Once you place the liquid and the yeast in the mold, place it somewhere warm, like Mount Maelstrom's core. And I've been sent 12 heads of lettuce and an ugly wool sock. So thank you there for that personal donation. So when we left off, we placed the mold we placed it somewhere warm. Well, simply leave it there so the dough can rise. I suggest leaving it for around 2 to 3 weeks. While this is happening, why not make some lettuce sprinkles to decorate the cupcake with? You should still have 2 pieces of lettuce left, so simply grind those to a powder in a mortar and pestle. Once the cupcake is ready, simply throw those sprinkles on top and maybe add a lettuce-scented candle. And there you go, a delicious, healthy lettuce cupcake. Enjoy. So there you go. Very enjoyable. Thanks very much for that. Also, then moments later, another amazing lettuce recipe. My dear friend, after a long time, I have returned with yet another delicious lettuce recipe. This time, it's not a full course meal like I sent you last year, and this time I shall only send you enough lettuce for one sample of the recipe, unlike last time when I sent 1,000 lettuce. This time I have made a recipe for a lovely dessert for all ages to enjoy. You can even feed it to your dog. Why? Because it's lettuce, and lettuce is healthy. I will send you the recipe and ingredients in a couple of minutes. Dear friend, I hope you like the recipe. What am I saying? Of course you'll like it. I made it. Anyways, I hope you and the family will enjoy this dessert. Perhaps you can combine it with my previous recipes. I also added some coin to this letter, so you can buy more lettuce. Until next year, the brilliant and talented Lettuce Gourmet. I mean, I'm lost. I'm really lost. I'm truly lost. I don't know why I got these messages. I got a laugh out of them, and they were very odd and eclectic and strange and weird. So thank you. Any more lettuce-related mails, perhaps you might want to send to a different streamer. I don't know. But thank you very much. That was very nice. I guess I'll just leave the audience now to ponder what the hell that was all about. And yeah, we'll move swiftly on, I suppose. In all honesty, thank you for the entertainment. Ryan Mill 87 says AWP, was that a Halo reference with the John comment? Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was massively into Halo for the first 3 games, and even somewhat with Reach, but after that I fell off. I did play through 4 once and found it really boring and on rails and uninteresting, and I never really got into the PvP at all. I've never touched 5, but I've heard that it's good, and I've heard it's a return to the formula, and I've heard that, you know, Forge is good in it and stuff, and I think that's all fun and nice, but I haven't actually played it. Oh, I guess I played a lot of the Master Chief Collection too, which I think nowadays gets a much worse rap than it deserves, because it actually, after 343 ironed out a lot of the launch issues, it's been a-okay. But yeah, so, also there was an amazing dev comment about that quite recently. I think I talked about it in the stream, where they looked back at what happened and how they felt like they let everyone down and stuff. Really fascinating. But yeah, so I mean, I really was a huge Halo nerd. I still would consider myself one. I'm just not familiar with any of the story for the new trilogy, and as 343 took the franchise forward. I also used to be a major Bungie nerd, basically, and big Bungie fan. But I never got into Destiny, and it seems like I sort of dodged a bullet there, because Destiny seems to have been a bit of a disaster. Maybe that's unfair for me to say. Maybe I shouldn't. But there you go. Alright, what else we got going on? Trying to scroll through chat, but also not instantly explode to some of these mobs. Liking all these debuffs. Good damage. Really quick kills. You wasn't able to tune into yesterday's stream live, but pass it on to Waldir that the Merciless intro is amazing. He was here just a moment ago at the intro, so I'm sure he will see what you said there. And it definitely is, isn't it? It's very cool. Dosty is the most active viewer here, but I don't trust him enough to make him a mod. No, because he's only been active the past few days, really. Oh my god, that was a lot of burn. This is why Dagger's good. Chat already loves you. Well, I hope you're not scaring the regulars off, Dosty. Maybe it's because of Dosty's ego. What are you talking about with his ego? I got a donation, did I? Ewendel. I've noticed that that's you, Ewendel, that said that. Boom. Cash money for my favorite homeless YouTuber. How did you know I'm homeless? Who told you I'm homeless? Thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. It's good to see you again today. You had a good day, Ewendel? I feel like this is so one-sided. Why don't you tell me how your day's been, Ewendel, in chat? I'd love to hear it. I really would. Let me give you something back. Let me take an interest. Also, the Diplomatic Jaeger 1 hosted me for a single viewer. Thank you. Because YouTube isn't at home anymore. Oh, that's very true. Alright, Vladok, come on. Oh, we have to defend him, do we? From the ice minions. What, these extremely slowly ambling Quaggan? It's weird that they just suddenly throw in an Ice Brood related story at this point here. It's very strange. Okay, there you have it. Is he defended well enough? Do I have to go kill all of these? I guess it's more ice broods. They're not doing... I mean, this is like just... Like, what is this? This isn't actually anything, is it really? This is just like... This is like total placeholder instance. There's just nothing happening here. If I immob him and stand behind him, can he turn around? I'm only just realising I actually don't know that about Guild Wars. Stab him in the butt. We good? I mean, this instance is huge as well, by the way. If you have a look, it's got quite a range on it. All right, that's everything in the instance dead. So I would hope that this is now good. My day's been trash. I had to change my bachelor group, and now my bachelor assignment is a boring one. Oh, really? Oh, dude, that's brutal. That really sucks, man. And that's not just your day being trash. That's your next long while being trash. Why no elite? Yeah, it is a part of the challenge. I'm supposed to be level 30. This unlocks at level 31. So until we finish this story step, I can't do anything. Defend the dredge survivor from the ice minions. Hello, comrade. It's kind of interesting for me to think of a German voice actor trying to sound Russian and what their interpretation of a Russian accent is. Hey, Broad Quaggan, welcome. I think we bugged an instance here. Should I redo it? I think obviously an exception to the rules is if an instance bugs, you can rerun it. Why are they speaking German? Because that's just the way that the world's gonna go, man. Gotta learn German. Who the hell chose Necro? A lot of people chose Necro. Necro was quite high on the list. It was who was it in competition with? I think it was in competition with Guardian. Oh my god, come on, man. Oh god, sorry about the yawn there, guys. It takes a while for the ice brood to spawn. A while is in like this long, really? I'm quite curious what happens if we let him die as well. Oh hell, I know what it'll be. It'll just mean he goes downstate and then we revive him, that's it. Maybe play Metro in German? Such a great game with a Russian main character. Ooh. Speak with the dredge, says Rain. You don't think I tried that? You don't think I've tried that? You realise every time he says comrade, that's me pressing F. I mean, what do you... Seriously? That's all he does. Here, look, I'm going to pull the keyboard right up to the microphone. That's me pressing F. It's not doing anything. Yeah, I already played Ellie. We beat it. We beat it in record time. It took us about 2 hours and we beat the challenge. Walk behind him, says Casimir Duck. Do you think? Yeah, greetings. Look, we have to redo the instance. It's bugged. It's obviously bugged. Alright. Okay, that is not a rip run. That is not a rip run. Yeah, I was lying. The Ellie lasted about 20 minutes and died. Someone has said that when you start getting the right tools, it can be really strong, though. Which is great to hear. Ooh. Keybind my mounts. You guys are never going to drop that, are you? Broken game is broken. Well, that's what happens when you put absolutely no effort into your core campaign. 5 years later, it will be just as broken as it was on release day. So, I was wondering if this had a per target ICD, but it doesn't, so. It would be nice to be able to proc loads of those plague signets in AoE. Did I delete my YouTube channel? No. Apparently, I never knew this, but apparently Brazil deleted his YouTube channel. I didn't realize that. Apparently he deleted it. And apparently he's deleted his Twitter as well. I only just came upon that information quite recently. But supposedly that is a thing. I know he was getting into a lot of sort of like heated discussions about things. There was the whole like thing with Bagwan. There was him defending that trash PvP build. I don't know. I can imagine if he wanted a break from it all. Who cares? Well, I care in the sense that, you know, it's not a very big scene and we just lost another person. You know, we get... Nike's a pretty toxic guy. We've lost him to Zwift, the exercise biking MMO, the phenomena sweeping the nation. You know, who will be left before long? It'll just be me with a little Guild Wars 2 flag saying, guys, it's still a good game. In like 2024. Was he a streamer? I actually don't know whether he streamed. I didn't really follow his channel that closely. I didn't really know him very well either, so... I don't know whether he ever streamed. Dosty says I can replace him. Dosty, you have become increasingly annoying. What, like, every single message is like some completely unfunny comment. Sarcastic quip with a kappa. You're the worst kind of Twitch viewer. The worst kind. And it's becoming relentless. Here we go. Help, you'll do anything I ask, yes. We should never... Okay, I'm going to wait here and try and not trigger it. Alright, so I'm just going to stand here. I'm going to wait. Oh, here you go. Look, they're spawning. Look, we got it. It's all gravy, baby. Go, my mignonis. Defeat the Ice Brood. Yeah, sorry. I mean, I'm being toxic there. I'm telling my own viewers that they're horrible viewers. Oh, I don't know how to do this job. I'm sorry, Dusty. I wish WP hated me as much as Dusty, says Benji. All in due time. Oh, hello. Hello, Mama. Hello, Father. I'm at Camp Granada. Get out of here. Aggro the minions, please. I mean, this doesn't scare me too much, though, because the Ice Brood Wolves do notoriously hit hard with that ability, and we're not scheduled to fight many of them, so... Just got to watch a couple, and probably this instance, maybe a couple more upcoming, but that's about it. You did get a reaction out of me. What kind of reaction? What went... Oh, what, a second ago? Why did the Ice Brood Kodan breathe fire? Riddle me that. Why have they got that set up? And I bet that's called Drake's Breath as well. I bet that's called Drake's Breath. Who wants to take... Yeah, Drake's Breath. Why? I mean, it's literally like, oh, we need some attacks for this guy. Oh, it's okay. Just throw some placeholder thing on and we'll fix it later. Never fix it later. It's basically what it's become. Come on, bro. Let me buy you some coffee, says Ryan. What do you mean, you let me buy you some coffee? What do you mean? It's the Necro gameplay. It's toxic. It got Nemesis. It got Brazil. Don't let it get you. Hey, guys, I'm quitting. I'm uninstalling Guild Wars live on stream. Deleting my YouTube channel live on stream. I'm putting a shoe on my head live on stream. WP is so anal sometimes. What am I being anal about? Doesn't being anal mean sort of going on and on and on? Oh, I guess what anal in terms of still talking about the quality of the story instances? I sort of think of that as a term to describe someone who's combative in a discussion with a very narrow viewpoint, though, for a certain thing. And is that really relevant to us right now? Yeah, I'm going to go play PUBG. I'm going to go play... That's what everybody plays, right? PUBG. And League. Basically, here's my stream schedule. League of Legends Mondays, PUBG Tuesdays, League of Legends Wednesdays, PUBG Thursdays, League of Legends Fridays. And then on weekends, Fortnite. And I let you guys vote on the last game. There you go. And I'll see you all in my mansion early 2019. Alright, instance is done. Good. Oh, sorry, no. Sunday is IRL Sundays, where I just, like, film a potato out in public. and stream from my mobile phone, just rolling a potato down the sidewalk. That's all I have to do. You'd actually love to watch me play Minecraft? Yeah, I mean, I actually quite enjoy Minecraft. Do I play RTS like CNC? Yeah, I'm guessing the reason you just pointed out Command and Conquer is because I said that earlier. Yeah, but recently I haven't really played many real-time strategy. I play more grand strategy at the moment than anything else, just because I'm quite into Stellaris. Real-time strategy, I don't know what the last RTS I actually played was, but it was probably quite a while ago. Walking your potato sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm going to build a little go-kart for it, man. It's going to be awesome. Oh. Okay, so yeah. Oh, okay. So None has it slightly different. You get 2 back-to-back decisions of 3 in a row. Okay, so this is the big one then, guys. I thought the last one was the big one, but I guess it wasn't. So this will decide which order we join. We're going to do third fastest finger first again. So the third person with the code will get it. I just want to say as well, though, that we went Whispers a second ago. Whispers will be a bit annoying with Tibble and the drinking game. And pretty slow. But so I'm not too looking forward to that. But the other stuff with Whispers might be really fun. And we haven't seen it for a while. So I don't know. It's up to you guys, though. This determines a huge amount of the game. We've seen a lot of Vigil lately. I will go any and all of them. The code is number 11. Legs 11. Number 11. Let's see what we got, baby. What is this game, Stellaris? I've never heard of it other than from you. Just curious. Okay, so it's a paradox game. As I said, it's a grand strategy game. So it's a strategy game where you're controlling lots of different forces and peoples and things. But instead of being real time, where it's all about being really fast and micromanaging and doing lots and lots at once, you can sort of play it at your own speed, and it's sort of about very broad decisions. So the idea is like the year 2200, and you play an alien civilization or humans on Earth and in the solar system, and your society has just discovered faster than light travel. You've just discovered faster than light travel, and now sort of the Milky Way is open to you, and so you're controlling your entire species as they ascend to the stars. And at the same time, there's all these other empires that are doing the same, and they start, you start establishing borders with them, and you end up going to war with them. There's tons of different ways you can play it. It's really, really, really incredible game. And it's going to have a massive patch in 2.0. Anyway, sorry. So Legs 11. Priory was the vote. No, sorry, I lied. There's someone up here. So Filmer was the first. Casimir Mead was the second. Nice to see you, Casimir. And Vigils from Allele's 1991. We're going Vigil again. They're all Vigil. So yeah, like Demon's Bane says, grand strategy. I'd love to see Crusader Kings 2 Wooden Potato stream. Yeah, so Crusader Kings is also compared quite frequently to Stellaris when they talk about different design decisions. Okay, what are we picking here? I got another thing I want to say about that as well in a second. I guess we'll pick the... Am I ever really going to use Scepter? No. I say no. I say Dagger. I say let's get a new Dagger. Because now we can have one in the offhand too if the situation arises. Lots of weapons. This has been really fun for Necro. Weapon-wise. So yeah, do you remember I keep talking about stealing assets from Guild Wars? Yeah, like just mine them out and dump them somewhere else. Stellaris is really heavily moddable. So here's a really silly thing that I would love to see and I would love to produce. But it's a bit like PvP in that I'm currently really passionate about it, but I don't think anyone would give it a chance if I really, really pushed it hard. Here's one thing I'd love to do. I'd love to get a ton of big name Guild Wars 2 YouTubers and streamers and stuff. I'd love to get them all together, teach all of them how to play Stellaris, and have a giant multiplayer campaign where each streamer is in control of their own society, their own empire, as we all, we're all in our own different corners of the Milky Way, and we all, start playing like in a massive multiplayer game, right? And you play it like each week there's another episode, like almost like a D&D thing, right? But everybody's dealing with their empires. But here's the cool thing, right? What you do is you create custom races, and each of the custom races is a Guild Wars 2 race. So there would be a Char Empire, you would have the Char coming from their home planet called the Black Citadel, and they would rise, and they would have all the traits and modifiers of being like a barbaric, imperialistic kind of society. You'd have the humans who would be like diplomatic, you know, whatevers. You'd have the Sylvari who would be pacifists and stuff. And it wouldn't just be the 5 playable races. You could have, you know, depending on, you could have like 16 players in a game or whatever, right? So you could have like someone's controlling the Kodan, and someone's controlling the Ettins, and someone's playing as the Skrit Empire. And Stellaris is that variable and interesting that they do have government types and you know, civics and backgrounds and origins and things that would work perfectly for Guild. But you could put basically the Sylvari models in and stuff. It would be so good. It would be so cool. It would be amazing. But it would only be amazing for this tiny like subsection of the Guild Wars 2 community that also loves Stellaris and loves watching streams. So it's just like such a stupid idea, but I love it. I love the thought of it so much. It would get like 2 people watching it that would understand it. But those 2 people would be in for a hell of a time. They'd remember that on their deathbed. It would be that good. Of course, that's not dealing with the grim reality of the logistics of getting such an enormous project underway. Which means it will never happen. But it's kind of one of these little things I catch myself fantasizing about as a content creator quite often. I'm like, it'd be so cool to do that. Because it would be. It'd be amazing. And you'd see who it would boil down to in the end. Yeah, you could have Tengu. You could have anything you can dream of. Honestly, if you guys are remotely into grand strategy, if you're remotely into sci-fi, keep an eye on Stellaris. Keep an eye on 2.0. 4X specifically is what they'd call it. It's probably, especially after 2.0, after the bugs get cleaned out at 2.1 probably, it will probably be the best 4X game that's ever existed, and I stand by that. And if you want to learn a little bit about it, back when I was a complete noob, I did play it with Mr. Matt Visual over on our Visual Wood channel, which we ran for about a year. We did play it. Didn't understand any of it or what was going on, or that it would become such a phenomenon that it now is. But, you know, like, for comparison, when Matt and I did that video, barely anyone was really following Stellaris. But their new trailer for their new expansion, Apocalypse, that's coming out soon with 2.0, that's got 1 million views already. The Path of Fire trailer doesn't have anywhere near 1 million views. Anyway, we're picking... What are we picking? Didn't we pick Vigil? Did I mess this up? Oh, yeah, execute the Vigil's plan to defend the Derman Priory. Yeah, they're just all defending the Priory. That's the point, yeah. As the Norn, everybody defends the Priory, even if you don't pick Priory. Sylvari wouldn't be pacifist, they'd be xenophilic. Yeah, you're right. Pacifist, I mean, I don't know why I really said that. Who would be pacifist? Centaurs, maybe? Maybe you would sort of set up a group that are the followers of Ventari, those guys that we find in Drytop. Yeah, maybe, something like that. But yeah, they would be xenophilic. And you'd have, like, oh, you could have the Stone Summit. There are no Guild Wars 2 Stone Summit dwarves, though, so I don't know what you would mod in for that. But you would have, like, the Stone Summit would be, like, xenophobic, sorry. Have I played the POF story yet, WP? I have. What? Oh, you're trolling me. That's Broad Quaggin. Don't troll me, man. Come on. Civ is... Civ, I've never played Civ, but I fully believe that it is a good game and an addicting game. I have to be careful with addicting experiences, though. I suggest you try Forged Battalion. Former CNC devs just went EA. Was just right for your Command & Conquer. Oh, cool. So if I look into real-time strategy again, I'll try and remember that. What's this? Forged Battalion. Okay, I will take that advice. Yeah, you could have a Choya race. I mean, it would be so fun. I kind of want to do it just to learn a little bit, you know, about extracting assets and stuff. I think it'd be fun. Also, if you're a Star Trek fan, there's an insane Stellaris mod called Star Trek New Horizons that is like basically the best Star Trek video game that has ever existed is actually a Stellaris mod. And you're not going to believe me when I say that, but trust me, it is. It is unbelievably good. That's Star Trek New Horizons. If you've ever wanted to play as the Ferengi. Actually, I don't know whether that's true. I've not played the mod, to be perfectly honest about it. But I've read a hell of a lot about it. So my opinion is probably not worth that much. but people pretty much love it. They're making Age of Empires 4, and Age of Empires 1 is being remastered, but the devs are kind of shitty and messed up previous remakes. Oh, that's unfortunate, dude. I was never into the Age of Empires stuff, but I had a lot of friends that were. How big this game size is? What, Guild Wars 2 or the current topic at hand, which is Stellaris? Throwing the blind out there because I am scared of the mining suits. Bouncing a bit of regen just to get that back up. With the 2 as well, we're getting our health nice and comfortably. There's a mini game in the Cursed Shore. Can't say I remember what that might be. I love that the Vigil's plan is just fight them on the choke point. It's good. The competitive scene of AoE 2 is really strong. Is it? That's awesome, dude. Age of Empires 2 HD was great. What was that? I used to play Stronghold. I used to play the Lord of the Rings RTS as well. What other RTSs? I tried to play Halo Wars, but I never got too into it. I think it was aiming to be a great... If people don't really understand what was the makings of Halo, Combat Evolved at least. I mean, 2 was just basically the perfect sequel, in my opinion. But in terms of expanding on the game in every way and in a positive light. What was really amazing about Halo was the way it brought FPS so definitively and strongly to consoles, and specifically dual analog stick. There was GoldenEye before it on the N64, which is also sort of lauded in a very similar way. But, you know, Halo was a real big moment. And I think they tried to sort of replicate that, but for RTSs. Bringing RTSs to console in a big way. That's what the whole Halo Wars phenomenon really, from the ground up, was about. But they never quite grabbed me. They never managed to properly map it to me. I know there was a Halo Wars 2 quite recently, which everyone was very hyped about, but not necessarily me so much. So I'm really concerned right now, because these guys do hit and hurt a lot. And there is the Vaporizer back there. I just don't know whether it's the Vaporizer that's hurting me, or whether it's the Dredge. I'm hoping we could just sort of burn them down. Are the Shades AoE? I can't remember. Also, an enemy rifle turret. That's very cool. Who cast that? Him? I guess it was Vyacheslav. He did a lot of damage there. Oh, God. Oh, God. Uh-oh. All right, Strength of Blood magic. Here we go with the down state. Let's get that Ratnik. All right. We're going to get reinforcements now by peeling away. Oh, my God. Look at that. He's got a voice cue for if you flee away from him. That's so cool. As long as air keeps tanking with Determined. Oh, this is like Blightcast then. Oh, God, they're coming. No, this is like Blightcast. Go on, air, solo it. Solo it, baby. And we'll just res these guys. Good, they're resing one another as well. Nice. From range, I'm going to send my guys in now. And really what we're trying to do here... Okay, he's shooting me with the rifle. We're trying to get as much health back as we can. Got to focus on the game. Sorry, guys. I know we're having a cool chat, but the game comes first right now. All right, let's get our bleed up. Okay, good. All right, he's on his own. Push the damage. Fear him. Oh, my God, that next wave. All right, he's down. That's good. The Vaporizer's at 80% health. This is a really... Can you imagine if this was well designed? This is a cool idea. Like... This is a bit like what they do at the start of Sorrow's Embrace. With the waves coming at you. But the idea here is you've got like a boss that you've got to kill on the far side to stop the waves coming. This could be adapted into a really convincing raid encounter too, I think. Or not like a full boss encounter, but sort of a mid encounter kind of thing. Alright, we're very healthy now, so I'm going to go in. Good. We get so much damage, man. Why is there a mining suit all the way back there? Huh. Alright, we got it, guys. We got it. Bit scary. Genuinely a bit scary. Get our amulet, and we get our weapon of choice. I'm going to go aquatic. I think we have to go aquatic, really. And I think it has to be trident. I think I'll go trident. Let's nab a trident there. Select the stats on this. Power and vitality. Good. Good, 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 good. Deposit in that. And we made it. We're in the vigil. Preach about Halo. What about Halo 2 being a perfect sequel? Well, just literally think about it. Think about every facet of the gameplay. Think about all the weapons that they improved, that they added, that they, you know, they added dual wielding. For the vehicle gameplay, they added the concept of destroying vehicles completely. Boarding. Boarding wasn't a thing before. They expanded the roster of playable vehicles. For online, they literally were the foundation of Xbox Live. And paved the way in so many ways for Halo 2 there that obviously were expanded on Halo 3, which is where shit really hit the fan. But Halo 2 did all of that, really. There was, you know, network stuff for Combat Evolved. But, you know, System Link, we used to do System Link parties. But Halo 2 really, really expanded on all those concepts so much. Think about, like, even in terms of setting and scope and story. The amount of worldbuilding, the amount that was, the amount of substance that was to the that franchise's story in Halo 1 was pretty good, and it was pretty exciting, and it was all right. But it wasn't too much. If you look at how much it was expanded on just with Halo 2, I mean, how much more was explored in terms of looking at what the Covenant was made up of, and like the elites didn't even communicate before. Like, they just expanded on so many things. It's genuine. And if you look at every single one of those expansions, very few of them were looked at as a regression. Very few. The campaign was longer. It was just, I genuinely do think it was the perfect, it did everything a video game sequel can do. And it was incredible. And I didn't realize how amazingly Bungie smashed out of the park for Halo 2 when it released, and I was originally, you know, one of those players who picked it up. But looking back at it now, with hindsight of how so many franchises barely iterate at all, and if they do, you can't even tell if it's an improvement or not. You know, I really do stand by that. I think Halo 2 was basically the best sequel I've ever seen. If you're ever going to judge something as a sequel for a game, I don't actually know one that's better. There's obviously been franchises where the second game has surpassed the first. You know, like everybody loves going on about how great The Witcher 3 is, right? And I'm sure that was a massive improvement on The Witcher 2. But that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, for all the ways that Halo 2 improved on Halo, it's, you know, it's incredible. From what I've experienced anyway. Obviously, I've not played everything in the world, so... No, so Benji said don't forget Guild Wars 2 Winky Face, but I don't agree with that. I think that a lot of the changes Guild Wars 2 made, even if I agree with them and like them, like the arcadey 5 weapon skills, binding 5 skills to a weapon, and having them be really distinct, removing multi-classing so that each class could be really distinct in its playstyle and its space and stuff. These are decisions that I really agree with, I think are great, I think that they've helped Guild Wars 2, but... they are not acclaimed amongst the average player in the way that pretty much everything would have been with Halo to Halo 2. There's a lot of people out there who are like, oh, Guild Wars 2 sucks because you don't get so many skills. The truth is there's way more customization in this game combat-wise. Now that there's 2 elite specs and stuff than was... and realistically speaking, so few of the builds in Guild Wars 1 were ever viable anyway that it was, you know, it was a joke to ever suggest that it had more. Anyway, those discussions aren't important. What I'm saying is, like... a lot of what Guild Wars 2 changed, you might view as a side grade. Like, a lot of people play Path of Exile because it's the closest thing that approximates Guild Wars 1. Because there is no actively updated game that is Guild Wars 1 anymore. So, you know, was Guild Wars 2 a perfect sequel to Guild Wars 1? The quality of the game itself doesn't matter. Is it a perfect sequel? Does it provide the experience Guild Wars 1 provided, but better? Well, the answer to that is blatantly no. This is basically a different game in a different genre, basically. Guild Wars 1 was more of a lobby-style thing. They called it CORPG. This is an MMO, you know? It's not a perfect sequel. It's not. I mean, MMOs are so vast that and so easy to nitpick, you could never call an MMO perfect in the first place, but that's sort of beside the point. And again, that's not to discredit Guild Wars 2 and say Guild Wars 2 is a bad game. It's just, you know, when we're talking purely about that idea. Are there any new videos coming out soon? I've resorted to watching the rest of your Eye of the North playthrough. I hope very soon to have one on the Awakened current events. And then I hope to have one on the competition announcing who won it. And then I hope to go back to normal for you all. Preach to the choir? What, me? Am I preaching to the choir? Yeah, sorry, that was old LA, yeah. I mean, it might be that you were sort of only lukewarm on what Guild Wars 1 was, and you love what Guild Wars 2 is. There's tons of people like that, right? There's a lot of people who are lukewarm on Guild Wars 1 and have every right to be lukewarm about Guild Wars 1. Guild Wars 1, you couldn't jump. Guild Wars 1 lacked so many features that you might have expected from an MMO, and there's so many expectations were missed by Guild Wars 1. So you might have been lukewarm on it, and then Guild Wars 2 comes out, and you love it, and that's great, that's cool. And I think there's a ton of people in that position. But does that mean it's a perfect sequel? I don't think so, by my standard. Tech Mirage says, I find myself preferring to play Guild Wars 1 still, but that's fine. I'm glad both games exist. Yeah, I'm glad both games exist. I just wish that Guild Wars 1, or the style of Guild Wars 1, was still actively supported by this company. Yeah? Because PoE only gets you so close. It only gets... Oh, we actually get to hear the cutscene now. This is going to be cool. We're going to hear the German vigil cutscene. We're actually going to get the full thing. So that's going to be cool. Yeah, like I you know, I've talked about it before. I wish that Guild Wars 1 still had some kind of active development. Or if ArenaNet make another game, which I think they will have to do at some point. I don't want it to be some kind of mobile product. What I want them to do is to make a game that is the brainchild and baby between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2. Like, I want a middle ground between the two experiences. I want the best of Guild Wars 2 with the best of Guild Wars 1. I want to find where those two crossroads meet, and that's what I want another game to be. But yeah, alright, so here we go. This is the German Vigil cutscene. I'm well hyped to watch this. Let's see what we've got, shall we?
Vor 6 Jahren erhob sich ein Drache in Askalon. Er flog südwärts, zog eine Schneise der Verderbnis und des Todes. Ich stand unter dem Drachen, als er vorbeiflog. Ich überlebte. Im Gegensatz zu anderen. In ganz Tyria fand ich andere, die von Zerstörung durch Drachen sprachen. Menschen und Silvari im Kampf gegen Untote an ihren Ufern. Asura, vertrieben aus ihren unterirdischen Städten. Wir vereinten uns zu einer mächtigen Bruderschaft. Den Wachsamen. Wir sind stolz, dass ihr an unserer Seite kämpfen wollt. Euer Mentor ist Forgal, einer unserer besten Soldaten und der tapferste Norn, den ich kenne. Er wird euch alles lehren für den Kampf an unserer Seite. Die Wachsamen wurden gegründet, um die Drachen zu töten, bevor sie uns töten. Manche müssen kämpfen, damit alle frei sind. Wir sind die Wachsamen.
I forgot to unmute again. I read a comment from someone in chat saying, I never played Guild Wars 1 until well after Guild Wars 2 came out, and I have regrets. I completely understand that. I really do think people missed out with that. I really do. And it's a shame. It is a shame. It's just sort of the nature of the game, though, when you get these kind of products, right? Like, if you're not... Like, for Guild Wars 2 right now, if you're not here watching this stream today, if you're not experiencing Guild Wars 2 in its heyday, 2008, right here, right now, with all the amazing Living World updates that are coming out, with all the infrastructure in on PvP, World vs. World being World vs. World, you know, with all of the community talent that's gone into stuff like Guild Wars 2 Hook, with all the great streams and things you can watch, if you're not here doing this now, you're kind of missing out. If you come back here a decade from now, you're not going to get this, you know? You're not going to get that sense of magic. So sort of... It is a weird thing to think about. And there's already some magic that has receded from Guild Wars 2. The magic of court area, the magic of leveling, the magic of guilds and guild-based systems and guild missions and actually working together for commendations. There are certain magical elements of this product that haven't been properly tended to by the devs and are gone and might be gone forever more now too. I mean, I hate the thought of that. That's why I whine on about it so much. But you know, it's kind of a thing to deal with these kind of products. Maybe that makes them something to love even more, though. I don't know. Because you could go back to Guild Wars 1 now, but it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same now that you've got the context of gaming in general in the 2010s. It wouldn't be the same based on how you your expectations of what MMOs are now. It wouldn't be the same because there aren't so many players around. It wouldn't be the same because of your expectation of graphical quality of the game or clunkiness. You know, there's a real acclimation process. And what you eventually acclimate to is a barren game with not many players around anymore. You can't just jump in. You know, my first experience of Guild Wars 1 was play pre-searing for ages and ages and ages, finally get out, discover that there are PvP arenas, and play in the Ascalon arena until I was too high level for it. I played tons of that arena. And I remember there were loads of other players around fighting me in that arena, and we were having lots of fun. And then once I beat it, I heard there was another arena in Yak's Bend, so off I made for the Mountain Pass to go fight more people in the Yak's Bend arena. You can't do that anymore, not just because patches have changed and removed several of those arenas as you explore around the world, but because there aren't any players there. You know, you can't have these experiences. They're not there. This talk of Guild Wars 1 is making me relive my childhood. I'm glad, me too, man. I mean, I wasn't really a child, I was a teen, but... You remember very strongly having some kind of this is getting old feelings in Guild Wars 1 playing Eye of the North. What do you mean this is getting old? Do you mean like you felt like the game was starting to look dated? Or do you mean you were getting bored of the core gameplay loop that Guild Wars 1 was offering you? Which at the end of the day was pretty shitty, let's be real. Once you had a good hero comp going, it was pretty much just tab spacing your way through the game. Well, not entirely, but a reasonable amount. A big part of Guild Wars 1 died when Nightfall came out. I love Nightfall. I think it was the best product they ever did, especially from a narrative standpoint, from several different standpoints. I think it was the best thing they ever did. For Guild Wars 1, certainly. But it also killed off a huge part of the game with the hero system. And that was a certain side of the community and interactions players had with one another, and thrill and experience of partying and exploring a vast new world together. Just so much incentive to do that was undercut when they added heroes. And in their sequel, Guild Wars 2, they never really had a great replacement for that either, because they made everything just soloable, and they cut even more reasons to interact away. So, you know, I never played World of Warcraft really very much. And when I say that, I mean I've probably got like less than 10 hours in my entire life on the game, so I don't consider myself a player. I never really have. But even I know this about WoW. Everybody goes on and on about old WoW because you used to have to, you know, you didn't have Dungeon Finder, you didn't have a lot of this stuff that people think has sort of slowly killed the game. I don't know. They're interesting discussions for sure. Would I be doing any Let's Plays on YouTube? I am now playing FF10. And your walkthrough's amazing. Thanks, man. I do have plans to do more walkthroughs on YouTube. I do. And in the style you're familiar with as well. I really do. Thank you. That's very, very, very nice for me to hear. You think that heroes were more about having customizable henchmen for the hard mode content and less a replacement? That's not true, man. Hard mode didn't exist when they released Nightfall. It had nothing to do with hard mode. It was all about convenience. It was all about being a billable feature, but it came at the cost of community. It did. It really did. And in fact, the biggest whinge that you would see on like Guild Wars 1 Guru around the time that Nightfall came out, right through Eye of the North's early days, was that. Then it kind of swaps to a focus on the Eye of the North grind for reputations and issues with Urson and stuff. Then they became like the big outcries and outrages and hot topics. All of this so easily forgotten now, you know, almost a decade on. But no, a decade on, right? Path of Fire was a decade later. My FF10 videos got you through farming silver doubloons. I'm glad, man. Will I see the new Tomb Raider movie in theaters? If it releases at a theater near me, yeah, man, I will. I really will. That'll be cool. I'll go there alone with my little popcorn in my hand. Be great. I'll probably bring Lucasade to it, because whenever I think of live action Lara, I always think of those old Lucasade adverts that she was in. I'll smuggle some in. Yeah, the good binge WP walkthrough. You played FFX way back when. Did you watch the X2? I mean, X2 was the last big project I did, and it was very, very, very challenging to get that completely on paper. Yeah, Benji, you remember the old Lucasade ads? I'm glad, man. That's cool. Kosich says the story never properly received closure for Zodja Snaf stuff. Yeah, I would agree. It was brushed aside. Oh, Kosich, you said something on a recent stream that I felt that you'd been misled on a certain point of the franchise. And you'd misinterpreted something. Not in a terrible way, but there was just something I wanted to bring to your attention. I can't remember. I was watching a VOD, though, and I saw one of your messages fly past, and I thought I must tell him that. I don't remember anymore. Oh, well. Well, that might annoy you to hear that, but it's annoying me to remember, but not the details. So there you go. Yeah, you watched X2 as well. It made you like that game. At first, you were never a fan, but the mechanics are some of your favorite. Yeah, dude, like, that's always been my opinion of X2. The coat of paint that's on X2, the cosmetics, the sort of, the packaging, the girl power, Charlie's Angels, the soundtrack, all of that stuff, that can be hard to sort of grit your teeth and get through. But once you do, I think you find a really solid Final Fantasy game under the surface there. A really good one. I think that's the best version of the active battle system that they've had. I think dress spheres were a little bit of an issue, but they were pretty good. I think the leveling stuff was really good there, building AP. I think a lot of the side quests were good, and the story even gets really quite beautiful sometimes as well. Like Trail of the Three Winds. Oh my god, that's one of the best pieces of video game music I've ever heard, and it's because of the associated cutscenes with it. You guys listening to me right now might be bored and like, what's he talking about? I don't care, but it's this this track here. YouTube keeps bugging on me. Why does YouTube keep bugging on me? Here, we will replace the Guild Wars music with Final Fantasy music. This is the track I'm talking about. It's this track here. Hopefully the balance is good and you guys can actually hear me. There, hopefully that's alright. It's such a good track. I mean, honestly, it's a beautiful game. It really is a beautiful game. Very melancholic. And the remaster, the way that they redid some of the tunes as well, were really nice as well. X and X2 have the best storylines of anyone. More X than X2. Yeah, I would agree with that too. Overall, X has obviously got the better story, obviously. Because it's not split out into 100 different branches. Wow, this is actually what will kill WP. He will alt-tab and die. Actually, you might be right there. Yeah, that was probably really stupid for me to do that in this instance. Alright. Let's drop that there. You don't think ArenaNet would hire over Twitter? I don't know whether I mentioned this on stream, but they are hiring for a narrative position. I think that was vaguely mentioned on one of the streams. They are hiring for a narrative position. But what's really, really cool, though, is Bobby Stein, one of the writers there, and a man I think is genuinely enthusiastic about this franchise and what those of us who are into the lore think about it, and like has been a real force for good for the delivery of story. And, you know, obviously not on his own, that people work in teams and no one person can take a ton of credit. But this guy, again, he's a dev at ArenaNet and he's been working on narrative focused things there. He posted like 6 to 10 tweets, big tweets, talking about giving people advice on how to get the job and how to get work writing in video games and stuff. I mean, it was a huge tweet chain of just like this really amazing, badass advice, and talking about the industry and about how, you know, many people's roots into it seem to have dried up behind them, and It was really, really cool. Like, the man does a lot of stuff that just builds my respect for him again and again and again. It was really, really cool to see. A lot of people in that thread's thinking I should get the job. I had to say nope. Well, thanks, Benji. I don't know. I'm not really a proven writer in any way. I'm a proven... I think it's proven I understand this franchise. Obviously, I've got gaps, as anyone does. And some of my gaps will be wider at various times than others. I think in terms of giving a feel for this franchise and sort of what it's doing, I think I would sort of be an okay fit there. But in terms of actually directing where it would go, aside from sort of trying to keep it consistent with what the game's been over the past decade, I don't know whether I'd really make that many compelling decisions. And also, for what it's worth, I'm a big believer that it's really not about what's on paper anyway. I think it's all about the execution. And that might sound like a bit of a weird thing to say. Alright, we'll turn the music off now. That's basically the song. It would end about there, but I put on a 24-hour version, so we'll turn it off. Look how quick these guys are dying. It's insane. Yeah, I think, honestly, you could give me any concept for any story. And I think there's probably an interesting way to execute it that I could fall in love with. Any story. And I don't just mean RPGs and MMOs and fantasy stories. I mean, literally... So, I got a story for you guys. I did a creative writing course when I was at college. I've never told this story. I don't talk about real-life things much. I guess that's why. But this is sort of vaguely related, I guess. So, yeah, I took a creative writing course. And, the lecturer... We were doing an exercise where we were all writing, like, our own stuff. Obviously. But we did an exercise where we were meant to share it... our project, or we were coming up with a new project creatively, and it was like a time constraint thing. Like, we had 10 minutes to flesh it out and then try and figure out why it would be good, but it had to come from, like, it had to be like a new thing based on like a prompt or whatever. Anyway, basically what I'm saying is we got to this point on this creative writing like session where we were all discussing what we were currently working on, and our lecturer chimed in, and I remember this so clearly. Everyone, you know, we were all like, you know, young adults, and we were just, you know, we had what I'm sure all thought was very compelling ideas and stories, but was probably all very, you know, been there, done that, or just, you know, there's some ridiculous figure that most fresh screenwriters, there's some ridiculous proportion, like 70% of scripts handed in by fresh screenwriters feature rape as a part of the story, right? And, you know, the idea being that amateurs think that you have to go for these big, bold, you know, same kind of events to be subjects of your material in order for it to be interesting. But the end result is you just fall in the fat end of the bell curve and you end up presenting something everybody's written before. Anyway, so we're all doing stuff like that. Oh, yeah, my story's about a hero who never knew their father. And at the end realized that the bad guy's their father, and, you know, all these, like, standard things. And when my lecturer chimed in, and he said, and I remember this really clearly, he said, yeah, I'm writing a novel. I don't know when if it will ever be published or whatever, but I've been working on it for, you know, a while now. And my novel is about a husband and wife. And the husband's a baseball player, but he gets put in a wheelchair. It's something like that. The specifics of the story I can't remember, but that was it. That was the whole thing. He's in a wheelchair. No, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even the wheelchair thing. I think that was a suggestion someone in the circle had. I think he was literally just saying, yeah, it's about a couple in Southern America, and he plays baseball. And, like, that was his description of his story. There was no jeopardy suggested. There was no, like, punch to it. There was nothing. And I remembered listening to him say that, and we were, like, giving feedback. So it was a bit of one of these weird moments where you're expecting the lecturer to judge your work, right? And to tell you whether you're on the right course, and to, you know, they're the knowledgeable one, they're the knowing one. But it was a bit of a weird power moment in the group, because the lecturer basically said, yeah, this is what I'm writing. What do you guys think? Criticize what I've done. And so we're all a bit on edge. We don't really know, and nobody really offers any criticism. But looking around there, I remember so clearly he'd given this thing. It was something about baseball in South America, I think. It was a really boring idea. Really boring. I remember looking at everyone's faces around there, and they all seemed to reflect, how I felt, which was, this is boring. But no one had the balls to tell him, this is boring. You have a boring concept for a book. The idea being, you know, that maybe he knows something we don't, or we're just being too polite. And so anyway, I left, and I remember that really sat with me, that I felt it was boring, and yet he had, and I felt quite definitively everyone felt his idea was boring, and yet he was confident enough to come to us and tell us that that was his novel, that that was his book. And I only think it was in later years that I've really started to realize, as I've watched more films particularly, which is what I'm more into than anything else, that literally anything can be good. I really do believe that. It's just about the execution. The most banal, like, crappy, boring sounding thing on paper can be beautiful if delivered in the right way, and I really do believe that. I don't think that a movie or a book or a game has to have like ridiculously wild, adrenaline fueled, or, you know, tragic, you know, subject material to be entertaining. And not just entertaining, but really profound and thought-provoking and great. So, you know, I really, really do believe that. And I remember back to my lecturer now, and I sort of think, you know, good on you. His book could have been awesome, man. It could have been really, really cool. And I think I only really understand that more recently. Well, I say more recently, past 5 years. 5 to 10 years. But yeah, so, I don't know. I think that's true for games as well. And I can't remember what prompted me to say all of that. There was something someone said about a game. I've messed up the escort again, haven't I? I've messed it up. Hold on. We gotta go back. That's the problem. That's the problem we've made. I forgot my elite. Oh yeah, we're at another section, aren't we? Okay, sweet. So hold on. We get the flesh golem, and we get to finish blood magic. We're going all the way up to transfuse, I think. So yeah, we now heal ourselves and our minions when we use that skill 4. Which is brilliant. Actually, not ourselves, because we'll be in the form, but still. Oh yeah, it was the thing about getting a job. Yeah. It was, you know, that narrative position. So yeah, that's kind of my point. Like, I think that and this is dangerous. It's that open door thing. It's dangerous to feel this way, but I really feel like almost any direction Guild Wars 2 takes, as long as it's consistent with what's been established, and I don't mean like going against the law or whatever. I mean, when I say consistent, I mean, you know, this is a franchise about fighting great evils, yeah? And so as long as it's consistent with that, and there's, you know, we're building some kind of big boss fight, and, you know, there's some world-threatening jeopardy, right? That's what I mean by consistent. As long as it's consistent, I genuinely think any story could be interesting. It doesn't matter if it's Joko. It doesn't matter if it's Shiro Reborn. It doesn't matter if it's completely against the established lore and they retcon a ton of shit. There are ways to execute it in a way that it's beautiful and amazing. It's about the execution, not about what's actually being dictated by some, you know, narrative position. So there you go. That's all of that huge goddamn tangent just to say that. There you go. There's the real reason I should never have that job. I don't know how to be concise. And I think actually, even as Bobby said in his tweets, you know, if you're going to be a writer, like for actual, you know, looking at the dialogue properly, it has to be very dense. It has to be able to deliver lots and lots of different pieces of information very compactly and tightly. Because you don't have all the time in the world. The player wants to get moving on. They don't want to stand about listening to dialogue all day. And they won't have the capacity to do it either. So Ewendell says, I'm a proven smut writer. Could I get the job? Well, smut wouldn't be consistent with Guild Wars, so no. However, for my super secret Wooden Potatoes project, where I read smut to clients for money, Virtual prostitution, essentially. You can write some smut, sure. No sub notification. Really, True Pixel? Oh, yeah, no, it did show it 4 minutes ago. I'm sorry I missed it. True Pixel, though, dude, good. It's awesome to see you. Thanks so much. Two months in a row. I hope you're enjoying your sub and you feel like you're getting some worth out of it, man. Not to mention your names were on runs and getting fastest runs was so competitive in Guild Wars 1. It still is. People still do speed runs, speed clears. Yeah, I wonder why that never really took off in Guild Wars 2. It did a bit with dungeons, definitely. But when raiding came to the fore, you don't really see it, do you? You don't see raid speed clears in the way that you saw dungeon speed clears and in the way that you saw, especially Guild Wars 1 content speed clears. Why is that? My life for more Tengu lore? I mean, obviously, yes, I have preferences for some subject material. I would prefer to see Tengu. I would prefer to see Kodan. I would prefer to see the Lagos be revisited. I have my preferences, definitely, and I got a lot of them. And I could weight them. You know, if I was in a salaried position, I would do a lot of, you know, meditation on these things. But nonetheless, when it really comes down to it, I don't think it matters too much beyond satisfying audience expectations of where the game should go. One of my favorite movies is Magnolia, and that's just about a bunch of people's everyday life. It shows how people are connected to everyday life, and I think it's a pretty powerful movie with a boring story. That's a good question. That's a good question. That's a good comment. I actually don't like Magnolia. You can watch my immediate reactions to that on a Visual Wood from years ago as well. I actually don't like Magnolia, but only because I feel like it was too long for its own good. You get the feel for what that movie is going, sort of an undramatic representation of well, it's kind of like it tries to make boring things dramatic. That's what Magnolia is all about. And I think it does succeed, but then it does it for too long and it goes on. I think that movie is genuine about 33% too long. There's a break point, and because it goes so far beyond it, I actually really don't like the movie. But I get what you mean, and what you like about it is what you're supposed to like about it, and I think that's really cool. Another movie that's very similar that, again, I was a bit lukewarm about is a movie called Lady Bird, which was quite well critically received recently. Similar sort of thing. It's just sort of very... It just presents life as is in a very undramatic way, but it manages to be profound and interesting somehow as a result of it. Just an adolescent coming-of-age story for a woman, really. That's what the movie is. It's sort of a mother-daughter thing. I'm sure if I was in that movie's demo, as in if I was a girl, an adolescent girl or a mother, I'm sure I'd be crying on the couch and it would be a beautiful movie. But because I'm not quite in the demo, again, I'm a bit lukewarm about it. But again, it's a good movie. Anyway, Summit Peak is defensible. What do we want to do? Defend or attack, guys? Defend or attack. The code is 14. Defend or attack. The code is 14. So you are about to branch out. Could use other games to lure people into Guild Wars 2. Honestly, WP, you deserve a larger audience. That's really lovely of you, Kerbads. But if I deserve a larger audience, it should come. If it doesn't come, then I don't deserve it. That's the truth. But that is an ambition, certainly. So if you were there when Guild Wars 2 was being created, how would you have written, executed the Elder Dragon story of Guild Wars 2? That's a huge question, Lily, and there's about a billion different answers I have for you. But the main narrative fault of Guild Wars 2 core, that's not to do with its execution and splitting itself into lots of branches, is it doesn't answer the question of how do we defeat an Elder Dragon. It also barely answers the question of how is this Elder Dragon threatening us. I think there's two halves to the story, and each half is represented by those two questions. Neither of them are answered very well. I think those are the two main things to tackle. But let me just be clear. I can only say that because I have the power of hindsight. If I was there before the game came out, I don't know whether I would have had hindsight to have solved this. You know, that's a luxury gamers have when they criticize developers all the time. Every single gamer that ever acts like a cut above and a know-it-all and like they have all the answers and that they're so much smarter than the devs and the devs are idiots, blah, blah, blah. You have to remember, every single gamer that's ever said that has always had the power of hindsight when the devs themselves have never had that. And that's something that dawned on me quite recently as well. And I should remind people of as well because I'm so often on my own high horse. So, yeah, 14. What do we have? WP isn't a girl? Oh, what a giveaway. I've given it away. Rip. All right, 14 attack, says Zeppo. So we're going to go on the attack this time. I think this is the one with the dangerous cannon, so I'm a little bit scared. 50 health and a bit more power. I'm happy with that. Let's throw in some LGBT because, you know, it's trending now, Guild Wars 2 Rise. I don't think that they ever threw that stuff in there because it was trending. I think they threw it in there because I think individuals contributed to the body of work that is the story. Because, again, this is not something that someone has sole creative ownership over. It's you know, that's why it probably feels quite directionless and it doesn't get particularly pointed at any one moment because it's a collaborative thing and a largely collaborative thing. But you know, I think that you saw some of those things come into the story because there were devs there that connected with that and cared about that stuff, and they wanted, you know, the product that they're working on to represent it in some small way. And it only ever has been in small ways that stuff's been in the game. I don't think it's ever been fair to say that this has been ham-fisted as a political platform or whatever. I think that's always been nonsense, and by probably overly fearful numpties. You know, there's no grand master plan or ridiculous stuff behind it. It would have just been, you know, it's the same as if I went there. So I'm not an old man. All right, this is not going to work as a good example. I'm not an old man, but I do have very major insecurities about getting old. I don't know why I do, though. This is a real insight into the real me here, okay? I have real insecurities about getting old, all right? About wasting away, about all this stuff, right? So I like it a lot. I really like it in media where I get to play as an old man that is still a badass. Like Metal Gear Solid, Last of Us, I really enjoyed playing Joel. I really like if there's ever an old person in a film or in a game or something that I'm enjoying, and they're super old, but they're still living these massive, awesome, fulfilling lives. That's badass to me, because it makes it feel like it pushes the envelope further away from when I have to worry about being an old geezer that's let his life pass him by, right? So, you know, this is a big part of me. So it's that LGBT stuff you're talking about, it's no different than if I got a position at ArenaNet. I have my own, you know, I have a connection with that. So you might find Wooden Potatoes ends up writing in an old hero. You know, there's like a 90-year-old Norn hero who's a badass. And it's just because that's what I want to see in the story. So that's my little contribution that's gone forward, a personal thing that I wanted to do. Is that process there is no different to someone, you know, wanting transgender people represented in game in some small way. And sell something in the Black Lion store at the same time. It's no different. It's the exact same thing. Just because the coat of paint is different, it doesn't mean that there's something sinister going on there. So, you know, I'm free and easy about it. So yeah, more old people for Guild Wars 2. You don't think Kaz and Marjorie was a token thing? I believe if there's anything bad about the relationship, it's the relationship in general, not because it's a gay one. Yeah, I mean, even if that was a straight relationship, I'd be bored by it. I just don't care about watching relationships in my MMOs. Oh, that's all it is. I don't care whether it's a gay relationship. It's just boring. It's just boring, and they never properly set it up. It's very hard for an MMO to get me invested in... It's hard for a TV show or a movie to get me invested in the romance between two characters. Let alone an MMO, as limited as this is with their animations and whatnot. Right, how do we get past this? This is going to be a bit of a challenge. We could maybe sneaky. Can we... Oh god, I'm going for it. We just got to hit them and get them off the cannons, if I remember rightly. Shroud? Alright, they're off the cannons. Our guys are pushing. Minions are going in. We know two things about WP. He is not a girl and not an old man. The reveals. Am I not really? How is 50 super old? Well, no, it's not, right? Obviously, and that's the thing. You just described Forgall. Oh, that's a gotcha moment for me. I guess Forgall's amazing, and I've just been wrong to whinge about him all this time. Damn. I should be embarrassed. WP part of the old maniarchy. No, so I watched Guillermo del Toro's The Shape of Water as well the other day. And again, I was very lukewarm on that movie. There's a kind of a stylistic kind of movie where they sort of try to match theatre to film, and I just never quite get it. Like, anyway, it's an alright movie, but there's a character in it who's like he's an old gay guy, right? He's a really old gay guy, but he's in a society, in a culture that, like, he's an artist as well. He's basically born too late to live a happy life as an artist. But he's born too early to live a particularly happy life as a gay man. And he's just a bit tortured, really. But he's a cool guy. And he's, like, gone bald. And he's wearing a wig. And he's just a cool, cool character. A really, really nice character. I just really enjoy old men characters. I don't know what it is. You need as many of them to get roles as possible. More Master Togo and Headmaster Menlo in Canthan expansion. Yeah, this is why Cantha was so good, because you got Togo. So you think it's just a coincidence then that LGBT was introduced right at a time where it's on all kinds of media? No, I don't think it's a coincidence, because I don't think you're right in the first place. I think LGBT influences have been in media a lot longer than fucking 2013, which is when Living World Season 1 was going on. I think it might just be that it's at this point in your life you started being open to that stuff being in media. But it's nothing new or special, particularly being in an MMO. And no, I don't. I really, and I'm not saying that to be mean to you. I really think there is absolutely nothing in what you're saying. I think it's complete waffle. It's the poor attempts at romance and blatant trying too hard to make it care about your characters that makes me care about them even less. If you can't bear MMO romances. What other MMO romances have there been? There has been for Guild Wars. I mean, it's the same. Gwen and Kieran. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can watch my Hearts of the North Let's Play, which is a Guild Wars 1 Let's Play. Go watch Hearts of the North, and you can see me sort of experiencing that on screen for you all, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't too hot on that one either. What do you mean Forgul is amazing? Forgul is cool. I actually do really like the character. In my version of the personal story, all three mentors would die, but they would die at different times, more fitting to their arcs and more appropriate. And I would have Forgul be the last one of them all to die. I think you've really got to spend a lot of time with Forgul to really understand what he is and what he's all about and why it's so sad when he dies. And I think it could be really, really great. He's definitely my favorite. If I were to look at the three on paper... I think Forgul's awesome. There's actually another thing I fundamentally don't like what they did with Core narratively, and that's the Order of Whispers, which, you know, this at Guild Wars 1's time, this badass band of demon hunters. And yes, we've had the POF stuff, but let's try and put that out of mind for a second. Just with their decision at Core, if you actually play that, it's basically a comic relief story arc. It's all comic relief. The Mentor's comic relief. A lot of the situations you get into are comic relief. I don't like that they did that. I think that they should have picked... I mean, I get it, right? They're trying to juxtapose... you know, if you make this kind of very funny character and funny situations with the backdrop of such a serious organization, it can heighten the humor. I get what they're doing there, but I really think they missed an opportunity to try and go for that. I wish we'd had an Order of Whispers more fitting to what the Order of Whispers were in Guild Wars 1. Yeah, that movie was really good as far as a love story. I think it's trash as a love story, unfortunately. It's really beautiful. If you're into the cinematography, if you're into the sets, if you're into the world that they've created, it's amazing. I also think the villain in The Shape of Water is really cool. There's a certain scene with his fingers that's amazing. You also get these very odd insights into the villain's life, home life, that you don't often get in movies like that, which I think was really interesting. It did some fun stuff, but overall, I think it didn't come to a particularly sharp point, and so it fell a bit flat in the end. Why am I like such a snobby, like... movie story snob critic twat today? What's going on? I will just say I'm still just bouncing off a chat here. Have I ever seen 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri? No, I've never even heard of that. Is it good? Wow, that's sexist. What's sexist? Old men are babies who like to throw rocks. Old men have always ruled the world, hence why the world is always at war. Well, yeah, that's obviously nonsense as well. Hey, WP, I hope you're having an absolutely delightful day. I'm having a nice day, thanks very much. I'm particularly enjoying looking at this keep with no fog right now. What movies have I enjoyed recently? Oh, there is a movie I really enjoyed recently. What was it? What did I watch? I can't remember. There was something I really enjoyed recently. Really enjoyed. A little bit less recently. A couple of weeks back, I watched Dunkirk, which I thought was also a real standout for me too. And a great movie to rewatch at that. Does WP have a daddy fetish? No, listen, trust me, we'd all be a lot less insecure about growing old if everyone we saw on TV and in movies and everyone who starred in all these shows, instead of being like 20-year-olds and 17-year-olds and kids and stuff, if they were all like 60/70. If it was the 60/70-year-olds that were the badasses and the change makers in the world, trust me, we'd all feel a lot better about being in dead-end jobs or, whatever failed ambitions and dreams lay at the wayside. It's fine, because you'd be like, look, I'm not even halfway there yet. Trust me. All right, here we go. We got a race. Ogres, Hylic, or Grawl? I don't mind which. We're on a Necro. Hylic, Ogres, or Grawl? Type it in. The code is 98. Koss and Maloney was a good romance. I don't even think that was a good romance. I mean, in retrospect, it might feel like one, but there was so little to it. It was basically just thrown in there very, very late in the game. I don't know. It was all right, though. Definitely. I mean, compared to its peers within this franchise, definitely. It was one of the best ones they've ever done. Broad asking me, are traps gay? I don't know, man. That's up for you to decide. I listened to another person's argument without putting them down. I mean, that's what being an adult's all about, right? No, man. Being an adult is just being successfully independent and able to support yourself. That's what being an adult is. You can definitely be an adult and put down everyone who disagrees with you. This is a WP stream. Whinging is paramount. I'm not whinging, am I? We're not whinging. I don't think we're whinging. Not all your viewers are kids, you know. I know. In fact, if anything, I have quite a high-end demographic. The vast majority of my viewers are around my age, which is really cool because it means that I can sort of what's the word? Relate to you guys a bit more. I guess that's a good substitute word. Scrolling. I don't mind it in Guild Wars 2. It felt as a natural build-up, even though now it's stupid since they haven't done anything with it. You mean Casimir and Marjorie? But for example, with Legend of Korra, they shoehorned it in without any build-up. The two female leads just bicker and argue about boys in the last episode. Boom, the lesbians shoehorned out nothing. Didn't people love the end of Legend of Korra for doing that? Also, isn't that a major spoiler I've just read out to hundreds of people? What mountain am I using? That's the skimmer mount. I don't know what skin. It's one of them. I don't know. Have I ever seen Manchester by the Sea? No, I've not heard of that either. What do you mean today? Wow, you guys are mean. You choose Order of Whispers because you just came out of Skyrim where there was Thieves Guild and it seemed like kindred spirits. Yeah, it's a shame there's no proper guilding. Great movie. That movie's amazing. Dunkirk. I mean, I regret that I haven't had the proper experience of seeing it in a cinema with the correct sound and the volumes that they wanted. WP, you're a movie villain. I'm British, that's why. That's true. All the British if a British man is in a movie and they're not all British, he's a villain. Just FYI. That was even true in Wonder Woman in the end, which made me smile. I watched Wonder Woman as well. Wonder Woman has a really weak start, but an amazing like Act 2 and 3, and then it falls down a bit right at the end again. But what a great! I mean, it's a seriously really good movie. For like the second and third act. It's really good. And then again it falls off towards the end. And it doesn't earn any of its scenes at the start, but it is a good movie. I'm glad that got recognized. Alright, scrolling. Alright, here's the vote, finally. Sorry, how am I so scrolled up? Chat must be moving quite fast. Ogres, Hylic from Kabad's there. So it looks like we're going Hylic. This is a quick arc as well, so I'm actually quite happy with that. I've got a game for you, WP. It's called Dream Daddy... ... Oh, did I have a donation? Hype donation. What? No. What on earth? Who is that? Why have you... And you've just sent one message? Okay, so if people missed it like I did, Sierre sent me £100? £100? Dude... I do not deserve that. What the hell? Why? What were we even talking about? This is like premium low rate streaming quality right here. What have I done to deserve that? That's unbelievable. And why? You've only said thanks? I cannot believe that out of the blue there. Is that fake? You can fake donations, can't you? Cire, C-I-R-R-E. I vaguely recognise your name. What's the thanks for? What did I do? Thank you. I mean, honestly, can everyone give, you know, massive kudos here to Cire in chat? Can you guys, you know, spam emotes and stuff? This person needs some reward for this. This is insane. I'm going to have to scroll. Sorry, I'm scrolling past lots of messages here. Don't grow up, it's a trap. Yeah, I know. Korra was okay. It was doomed to be in the shadow of its predecessors. 007's cool. Wonder Woman is the best DC recent movie. Absolutely. Since Nolan's trilogy of Batman, it's the only one worth anything. WP, did I like the film Logan? I did like Logan. I liked a lot of what Logan did, but I didn't like how Logan ended, and I don't actually think it was a fitting send-off to Wolverine. Try being a British person with the name Victoria. You're automatically the horrible girl that gets dumped and the villain in everything ever. Is your nickname Vicky? Because you can't spell Vicky without icky, baby. If you don't just like happy-go-lucky movies, Manchester by the Sea is great. You messed up the vote. It was supposed to be ogres. Well, we're going Hylic, I guess. Where is Sierra? I can't believe it. They're like a ninja. They just did that. They just said thanks and just vanished. They've just vanished into the ether. What on earth is this? What's the name of the movie you were talking about that shows you the view of the villain? You were talking about a scene with his fingers or something. It's called The Shape of Water. It's Guillermo del Toro. His most recent release. It's very new. It only just came out. And the villain has an this isn't a big spoiler, okay? The villain has an accident quite early in the movie where he loses his 2 fingers, and they sew them back on, and they're healing throughout the course of the movie. And there are lots of scenes where the fingers come up, and it's quite powerful what they do with it, I think. Indeed, you don't deserve it. Get us all some pizza. Oh, Sierra Plays. There you go. Sierra Plays. Sierra Plays. Well, let's... Oh, there you go. You got me into this game and I love it, smiley face. Dude, thank you so much. That's really lovely. How did I get you into this game? What was the first thing of mine you saw? I'm really, really, really thankful for that. Thank you so much. That's so lovely of you. I hope that the streams continue to be entertaining and the game does too. I mean, we've got lots more big patches coming up, so... Costi says, I need to watch Wonder Woman at some point. You've always been interested in Patty Jenkins' work, so seeing how she works with comic property should be interesting. I mean, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. I came away from it being really happy, but, like, thinking constantly about the little bits I didn't like and the slight changes I would have had. And I stopped myself, and I actually said out loud, to myself out loud, stop expecting perfection. Like, I'm chasing this perfect cinema experience that I don't think I'll ever get, because there's always some stupid little thing to nitpick, and I just need to get over it. It was a good movie. Dude, that's why I'm not called Vicky ever. A lifetime of kids singing Icky Vicky. People begin to utter it and stop at the sight of my clenched fist. Oh, God. It doesn't help that Fairly Odd Parents had a Vicky as the Nemesis character as well. You seen the DM, says Dusty. Oh, on Twitter, is that? No, I hadn't. I'll have a look, though. The first you saw of me was WTF No Healers when you were waiting hard for Guild Wars 2 to launch. What did you think of that video? Because it did make some poor arguments. And it was very heavily disliked. Heavily viewed, but heavily disliked as well. Alright. Oh, you've put the graphic on there, Dusty. Ain't bad. If you like it more than mine, basic one can update. I don't mind it at all. Actually, it fits more than I expected. Yeah, dude, come on. That looks great. Don't you think that looks good? I really like that. That's not to put down your own work. Can we go for the new one? I really like the new one. Could we do that, Dusty? It would just be using the new Merciless icon. Did I like Dunkirk? I did, yeah. I found how the timelines match up. Really good. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I've always quite enjoyed movies that play with narrative. Like, when I was quite young, probably too young, I watched Pulp Fiction. And it sort of blew my mind. And ever since then, I've been really interested in splitting up timelines and messing with stuff. Oh, no, it's a Dancing Awakened Man. Hello. He's a merciless hero. It's Soup. Dude, are you level 80? Did you make it to the end of the run? Looking good. He's a Necro as well. I think he's coming along for the ride with us here. So anyway, next chapter. And we get a big vote here, by the way, guys. we're going to get our next specialization. So everyone on the stream, you get to have your say here. This is the main build now. Till right at the end of the game, this is what we're dealing with. So we get another specialization, okay? And we can pick which one. Soul Reaping is obviously strong, and we would look forward to Foot in the Grave, maybe Death Perception, maybe Doomfire, but definitely this is strong. Death Magic is also really strong because of all the minion buffing things, okay? So Toughness in Shroud, we like. It's just generally a tanky line. Passive Life Force generation from Deaths is even stronger, so we gain more here just from people dying near us. When we leave Shroud, we come back into the real world with protection, and all of our minions get it. So that's just going to be passively always on us. But then there's other specific things. Minions get more health, and we get more toughness for more minions we have. This next one, minions do more damage, wherever that was, I can't remember. And then we also get Jagged Horrors start spawning. We get Death Novas, they explode when they die. It's just so strong. Death Magic is really good. This is what I want. But Soul Reaping is good, and these two are adequate, but probably not great. We'll take it to Straw Poll, and you guys will be able to vote. And I cannot believe I just got a £100 donation. I cannot believe I just got a £100 donation. I mean, wow. I will keep going. We won't end this stream here. That £100 donation has definitely bought at least the next arc. That's insane. Soul Reaping. So here is your straw poll, guys. Click the link that you can see in chat right now. Scroll for it. It's not too far away. And you'll be able to pick one of these skill wheels. Film Assist says, do you think we'll be getting a trailer tomorrow? I don't know. That might be a bit early. I don't know, though. I'd be scared to see a trailer tomorrow because I'm just so behind on everything. Lots of folks have been buzzing about Dark lately. Good to see different shows getting traction. I haven't heard much about that. It's amazing. I'd find Dark interesting. Okay, I'll have to think about that. Wait, Dark, is that the German show? That's not the German show. What was the German show that I was watching? There's like basically a German darker version of Stranger Things that I was trying to watch. You prefer shiny teeth than me? Yeah, that's a song in Fairly Odd Parents, isn't it? I got a recommended video of YouTube of you and Boots doing draft building a few months back and gave it a shot. Now you're hooked. Really? You got into me through draft building? Really? That was a very weird concept for a series that we ran years back. Dude. And that's led you here today and given you such given me such an insane donation. That is so cool. That's really weird to see the way that the world works there. That's insane. Oh, yeah. We got Lunar New Year anyway, right? So, German show. It's nothing like Stranger Things, dude. Well, I watched episode 1, and it did hit a lot of the beats that Stranger Things was going for. Yeah, I think I have seen episode 1 of that, yeah. That was what I tried to watch dubbed instead of subbed, and it was really weird. Does that mean Boots equals more money? I don't know. Maybe he's the ticket. Currently been enjoying the Bridge series. Denmark, Sweden, blah, blah. All right, well, so let's go have a look here at the results. All right, Death Magic slammed it. You guys are awesome. Death Magic it is. Maybe we should do Fastest Finger first to keep these ones interesting. So regenerate health while in Shroud. That's kind of cool too, but I will take Death Nova and summon Jagged Horrors. See, I don't like this trait. I mean, I like everything that this trait does, but I think that they should be separate traits. I think the Jagged Horror should be a Grand Master of its own. And I think that the Death Novas should be like a Master tier trait. And they can turbocharge the Jagged Horror. Just because I like the Jagged Horror gameplay, and it's very Guild Wars 1-y with the corpse exploitation and stuff. So I think that it should be its own. I would like to see that reshuffled and changed. Having both of these loaded on the same Grandmaster just feels weird to me. I don't know. And the other two just feel a bit odd. Like, Corruptor's Fervor is such a boring trait as well. Like, what is that? That doesn't... Anyway. But I wouldn't want to have to choose Death Nova or Jagged Horrors. I think juxtapositions like that are really boring feeling. Because you're just going to dream of the world where you could have both and you'll never be able to do it because there's no systems in the game that give you multiple Grandmasters at once. Anyway, yeah, so we just got a lot stronger. Death magic on. Flesh of the Master. Wait, so here's everything we just got. Toughness while we're in Shroud. More life force when people die, so we can get into Shroud, more healthy Shroud more frequently. Protection when we leave Shroud. We're getting minions with increased health and increased toughness for all the minions that we own. And they're getting 50% more health there, guys. 50%, that's a lot. Next, we're getting minions doing 25% more damage. We're getting our minions taking conditions off of us. So if we're chilled trying to flee, the minions will take that from us and save us. Okay? And then they'll transfer them back to the enemies. And then we're also summoning more minions every time something dies near us. Jagged Horrors. Anytime any of our minions die, they explode into a poison cloud, which is an unblockable poison field that pulses twice. And we could even combo in if we wanted. So it's just, that's all the stuff we get. It's a lot of stuff. Very, very, very strong. And we're going to go kick the Hylex ass now with that. Pretty exciting. You kind of want to see a Mesmer make this run. I kind of want to see a Mesmer do it as well. Because I want to try out Superiority Complex and Phantasmal Force and stuff. Hey, WP, you're not behind. You're doing great. Keep up the good work. Can't wait to see the competition results. I am behind, man. I mean, I appreciate you trying to preserve my feelings there. I'm behind. It might be time to draw a line in the sand and just say, all right, look, guys, you're not going to get any greater stand content or whatever. I don't know. But it sort of makes me feel a bit sick to consider doing that. I don't know. I need to learn to draw lines in sand, but I sort of don't. Anyway, let's not bum ourselves out here. You lost your rev at Claw Island, Jebro! No! Which one? Oh, dude, I've got to watch. Where at Claw Island? Oh, rip! Damn, I missed it, dude. I noticed when I woke up today, it said you had been streaming 10 hours ago. And I was like, and you said you were doing Merciless, right? I was like, I slept through all of it. 5 mobs were around a corner, motherfuckers. What part was it? Was it against the dragon? I've got to be honest, so I'll tell you now, Jeb. That dragon fight, if you try and actually participate in it properly, it's really difficult. But you can just skip it by AFKing the entire thing. And I'm not going to lie, I was kind of slyly, quietly hoping that you were going to get a character killed trying to fight the dragon, just so that I could later smugly come to you and say, yeah, you don't even have to fight it, by the way. So it sounds like you died just before the dragon. It was part 1. It was Claw Island, the fall of Claw Island rather than the retaking of it, yeah? You had the instance almost done, but you didn't disengage. Ouch. No, ignore Benji. I've never died in an embarrassing way. Ignore our chat. Chat, don't tell Jebro how I've ever died, alright? Ignore them, Jebro. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just Twitch chat trolls. There's no quality discussion on Twitch anyway. Don't worry about it, man. I very rarely die, and if I do, it's to a really, really good reason. So yeah, I'd be a bit embarrassed about that, man. I totally didn't die on my Ellie on the, 3rd instance of the entire game. You still remember when my Guardian died to some Jotun? Yeah, that was a pretty bad death. Full damage I haven't died to anymore because mounts and gliding, so it's sort of not a thing anymore in the game. Look, any death we have on this Necro will be embarrassing because this is just face roll. Bacon's All Mine does raise a very fair point, and I do want to sort of latch onto that a little bit. It has been because of chat every time I've died. It has. You guys have got to admit that at least. It's because I'm like alt-tabbing, playing Final Fantasy music for you and stuff. Look at the speed of these kills. Speaking of music, do you want? We'll put the Kylo music back on. It will inevitably reappear. How bad is the potato consumption per week just for the videos, WP? It always blows my mind people ask that. I made those like a year ago. And I ate them like a year ago. Even before that. It was one roast dinner, mate. It was delicious. And there were some good roasties that I had. But that was it. Stop blaming the chat. Look, chat is why I had corruptions instead of... I've just realised we don't actually have a stun break. So getting a soul reaping will be really nice later. If we're actually going to run with this setup. Don't forget that the flesh golem won't work underwater. Good point. Neither do any of the Norn transforms, right? So what would we use underwater then? Plague, right? I guess we could buy all of the plague skills just to do that. That's no sweat off of my back. Then how are they on every stream, huh? What do you mean? But Jebro, yeah, that's a real shame, dude, that you died there. So what are you thinking, man? Are you going to play... Alright, here we go. Plague carrier we want to watch. I'm going to bail out with the staff here just until he's clear. Alright. Yeah, are you going to play another one or are you done with Merciless now? I'm scared for the day that you'll just be like, hey, yeah, Merciless is boring now. I'm done with it. You going to go back to the NG maybe? Yep, I did indeed, Dosty. Because it can't just be a stream for you to determine everything we do. I guess part of it has to do with hot socio-political topics, which tie each season to main villain's grand, a very complex plan, and often the final baddie turns out to be someone wholly unexpected. What show is this we're talking about? Another one. I kind of want to let him hit us, because I kind of want to just see how much damage he'll do, but I know that's a terrible idea. So if you look down here, right, this is very Guild Wars 1-y. We have this icon here. This is Flesh of the Master. This is the trait that's given us more toughness for every minion we have. And what's really cool is every time we kill a minion, an enemy, a jagged horror spawns. So that number actually rises as we kill foes. It's just sort of a very unactive, passive method. Unlike Guild Wars 1 where it was all very active. You know, the Death Novas were spells you were casting. They weren't just there all the time. They were spells. Summoning the enemies were spells you were using. Keeping the enemy's health high were spells you were using. The bridge. It turns out me and Kostic have a mutual enjoyment of crime thrillers. That's cool, dude. The Swedish/Danish bridge series. Right. Oh, I do want to listen to some German Heilig. We're going to listen to the next German Heilig we get. There we go. We've just beheaded Watson Mabotsit. He's going to carry his head on a stick. They should make that a skin. Look at that. That should totally be a spear skin in the game. I do love Blood Tide with no fog. WP's 18th on the leaderboard to knock him off. Yeah, I mean, but the top end of the leaderboard, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Because it's so volatile. He could knock me off by going to 15th, lose a single game, and be back down to 40th, right? Or I could lose 2 games and be, you know, down to top 100 or whatever. It's not really too relevant, I don't think. You're staking my PvP frustration out on ice trolls in Bitter Frost Frontier between queues. Yeah, I want to... So I'm thinking of this PvP introductory series, right? And I've been thinking of like extra ways to get enjoyment out of Guild Wars and PvPing in Guild Wars. So I've been thinking about things you can do between queues. And like PvE farm is one of the ones I don't know whether I want to add to the list. But like decorating. I love the idea of decorating in the Guild Hall between queues. Or using the Guild Hall arena as a sort of an ad hoc 1v1 thing for you and your friends. All right, so tournament or confront the High Priestess. We've seen the tournament. We haven't seen the High Priestess. The code is 63, guys. Go for it. What should we do? You can decide right here in chat now. Are we going to try and win the tournament or are we going to confront the High Priestess? Yes, it is German sales D. High Priestess or tournament? Okay, so everyone went High Priestess. All right, you all want to see that. I suppose that makes sense because we've seen the other one. WP, say that gold ingots will be used in the next patch so that I can sell my 200,000 on the trading post. Joke, ahaha. You've really got 200,000 ingots? How many stacks is that? You might have more investment than me at that level. That's a hell of a lot. No, my only two investments are gold, which I invested in years ago now, back when the Jinlai Electrum ingot was first added. And my other investment is resonating slivers, which I have a character just full of them, and lodestones and cores and stuff. What about AFK and watching WP videos during queues? I mean, I would say that, but not everyone's going to get entertainment out of that, so it might be a bad idea. I really love this white thing. It reminds me of like having like a, you know, like a Warhammer model that you haven't painted yet. Looks so good. No, I'm not still actively investing in it. I just have hordes of it in my storage bank. So a guild. So you see this here, Junlai chests. That's my storage guild, and it's got a full, you know, guild storage just full of gold ingots. And what's hilarious, by the way, is sometimes I'm accidentally repping this guild when I'm doing invites for Spud Club. So I'll send an invite, and I've invited someone to Junlai Chess, and there's no proper ranking set up in there. So for that brief period of time, those people who get that could steal. They could rob me blind. They could steal all of my gold if I don't realize. And I've sometimes done it and not realized until like the next day. This isn't an underwater instance, is it? I'll be really sad if this is an underwater instance. Damn, WP has painted Warhammer. That's some nostalgia. I haven't actually got into Warhammer itself. I almost did, and I was going to be playing the Mummies, whoever they were. But what I was into was the Lord of the Rings, like, knockoff version of Warhammer. Who my father and my brothers got into with me. So we used to go to the Games Workshop, and we used to play that. I think there's a few day cool off when invited to guild before you can get stuff out. Oh, yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, okay, never mind then. They can't steal me. They can't steal my gold. There's lots of NPCs never acknowledge order choices, character race. Yeah, absolutely. Do you think ANET add dwarves as a playable race? I then desperate to play as one since prophecies. No, I don't think they will actually. Maybe in the future now. If Guild Wars 2 is getting to the point where a lot of that original vision and design is being scrapped and moved on, and they're just trying to push the envelope in any way they see fit. If the game is sort of entering that phase, then you might see it. But for as long as they're trying to honor their initial decisions. Oh, we just have to clear the procession path, I guess. For as long as they're trying to honor their initial decisions, I don't think you'll see that. Because, like, sort of one of the big points with Guild Wars was, you know, they were trying to make it the best MMO. They really were. And so they really wanted a solid identity of their own as that MMO. And so they wanted their fantasy races to be their fantasy races. You know, they'd already made the Char, which were fairly unique, and they brought those forwards and made those playable, and that was very exciting. They rolled a new hand with the Sylvari. And, you know, they had tropes. They had, like, types of NPC, like the gnomes, which were the Asura. But they were their own, you know. And I think that's why we saw the lore written in such a way that the dwarves were pushed to the side kind of thing. Because they didn't want it to be a generic fantasy. They wanted it to be Guild Wars. And I think if they want to stay core to those original ideas, we still won't see dwarves as a thing. Now, I did just hear a duck, and I'm really sorry that I'm not looking at it. I don't know what that was. Just give me 1 second. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't dying to these cannons in the meantime. So that should be fine now. They're not on it. Oh my god, we did. We just had a donation. Thank you very much to Magic Shomlit, who donated £5. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Same as you and Dor earlier as well. Thank you to you both. And of course, Sierra. People seem to be very generous today. Thanks very much. I hope you have a good one too. Thank you very, very, very much. I sincerely appreciate that. It's quite a moment in the history of the franchise for the dwarves to go. I mean, I think that the story that they did for how the dwarves left as well was really interesting, doing like this hive mind ritual style thing, which is something you also is very non-standard. You don't really see that in dwarf stories and RPGs. This is bad. Oh no.
uns in Ruhe. Wir brauchen eure Hilfe nicht.
Was that my fault, says Benji? Tried to blame that on chat. I'll blame it on the donation. You bastard, why did you donate to me? What the shit? See, this has got nothing to do with Necro being easy or hard or whatever. It's got nothing to do with Necro. It's just that I didn't know this instance. I didn't know that this was a threat. The line of reasoning was that we'd walk back to the procession each time. Next time I play this, it will be so easy. You just don't walk into the explosive field. I mean, that's so deadly. That's so deadly. This death actually shocked me. I gasped out loud, says Benji. It is. Necro is easy mode. This has got nothing to do with the difficulty of Necro. You saw me face rolling across this game. Necro is easy. This I was not prepared for, though. That's insane. And it is stupid because I was distractedly talking here. If I was playing the game a bit more attentively, I would have noticed maybe that there was no reason to walk here, but I had to clear those. Unbelievable. Brutal. This is a lot longer instance as well, by the way, than the other one with the tournament, which we would have done in moments. Oh, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's the thing with this game. It's just like, it's so shoddily made that there's just like these random death spikes sometimes in some instances. And it's like just playing RNG. It's just spinning the wheel. Did you roll a bad instance? Uh-oh. Oh, dear, 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 dear. That's funny, though. That is quite funny. I am a little bit upset that we don't have another win under our belt, because I'm sure that Necro is a win. Necro is an easy, you know, we can tick that off. Necro can beat Merciless very comfortably. Very comfortably. All these characters dying, man. All these characters. WP, maybe turn on names for items. That way you may see them further on the ground. That's a good idea, actually. Maybe I should do that. We didn't do any... Oh, so the wedding Norn. Guys. Princess Necro. She's dead. Yeah, it gives you almost no time to realize what's damaging you. That's a big design problem. Well, it's not that bad considering... I mean, it is bad, but I mean, it gets away with it because of the instant respawns and whatever. That just lets it... You can prop up... What's a good analogy for this? You know, it doesn't matter that there's no substance to this and it's all poorly made, because it can be easily just circumvented. Anyway, 2 more black line keys. So we now got 4 in our thing. Another XP booster. Again, I love getting those. Let's open all these. Another 51 bags of loot. Dump those over there. We get some more luck, which obviously actually means nothing. Deposit that. Deposit all of that. Let's go. These mid-tier materials as well are actually kind of nice to build in abundance. Some of those, some of those. Salvage it all down. Consume all of that. Consume all of that. Alright. And, rest in peace to Princess Necro, who I actually genuinely really liked playing. Visually, I mean. With the wedding dress. I guess that means more voting coming up, eh? Oh, dearie me. Argin. Her correct name being the RP name that I was never going to properly remember. Argin Silverwild. Don't forget your sock. The sock. What? What about the sock? No, screw the sock. What story instances do you get keys? You get 3 throughout the story. You get 1 at 10. You get 1 at the meeting in LA. And you get 1 at 60, I guess is what you said there. Yeah, rip sock. Screw the sock. Boom, the sock is gone. Alright. So what do I want to play next? I'm not really interested in Ellie. Maybe Mesmer. I kind of want to play next. Guardian, I do want to play. I kind of want to play Guardian. I kind of want to play Warrior. These are the ones more than anything else I've wanted to play for the past, what, 4 characters? But you guys keep voting on other ones. I don't know why you're so averse to these 2. Especially Warrior. When the fuck was the last... We've seen so little Warrior gameplay. I don't know. Some of you have voted for it. I don't know, or maybe we'll go back to the Thief runs. Let's do another Ranger, guys. Let's do another Ranger. That was hard, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm curious about the lava axe stuff. He looks cool as well with the red face. He looks really cool and the bits of green on him. I don't know. What we play, though, will be up to you guys, and we'll determine that based on how I feel, I guess, on the next stream. So, but this is the end of the Monday stream here today. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Again, my mind is blown from that huge donation. Thanks very much to Ewendell as well, and to Magic Shomlit a second ago for these other lovely donations. You guys have been really, really cool. Thanks for checking in, even though there's no videos going out, there's no advertisements going out, there's no nothing. Those of you who have been making it to these, honestly, this is all I've really still got managing to keep going out, so it means a lot to me that you've been showing up. I will be back Saturday, same time. It's not too far off. In the meantime, you might want to just chat with us in Discord. About Guild Wars, about all kinds of stuff, whatever you may desire. So click that link. You don't need an account, you don't need a client, you just click it and you can join a community of like-minded people. Should be lots of fun. Thanks very much for coming to the stream, guys. I hope you enjoyed my weird snobby BS. I can see I've got 12 personal messages from people, so I'll go through those, I guess, starting with Dark Sigmar, who's given me some advice from a good coffee grinder. I guess we'll see how that goes. And I might have some stories for... tune in on Saturday for coffee grinder stories. It'll be good, everyone. Catch you next time.